You know what? Can I try taking a little time to scavenge for stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I don't want to halt the group or anything, but in case anyone else is interested in doing some stuff.
Are you looking for food? Or are you just looking for general stuff?
Actually, I was thinking about looking for mushroom. What are they called? What mushrooms spread from? I know that they're from spores, but yeah, but what is it that the spores come from? I forget what it's called.
Let me Google this because I am uneducated.
Basically, I want to try and get.
Pods?
I guess just I'm trying to find because you mentioned I could grow mushrooms, right?
Yep.
I'm a little underground thing, so I was thinking starting to look
Wait.
for that.
Jason,
You know,
you should have played as a badger folk.
why?
Badger, mushroom.
Well, good news for you because as you are a native to the outer parts of Kelthon rather than the center, unlike our Akir friend, you notice that the ground, the grass in particular, is starting to yellow and brown. It's losing all its moisture, so it's congealing into this gross, slushy mass.
Yeah, I mentioned you mentioned a while ago. I put this as a note that it's becoming rotfall, which would
Yeah,
make
no, it is now rotfall on the dot, so mushrooms are now starting to sprout. So you're just in motherfucking luck.
that was another thing that I had seen in my notes that kind of made me think looking for mushrooms would be a fruitful adventure.
So yeah, you can easily do that. That's a nature investigation, your choice.
Okay. Seven.
Mood. So you look around, you find damp, some dark spots, some areas that are pretty more humid than others because of the congestion of trees. You find one. It is a rather chunky-looking mushroom. It has an orange top and a very pale, more beige stalk. It does have some pods currently, meaning it has been here prior to the start of Rotfall. And you just need to roll a survival check to see if you can harvest.
Can I try identifying it first?
Yeah, that will be probably another nature check.
Okay. 16.
This is Goblin Crown. Let me go back to my notes real quick so I can dig. It is particularly toxic, however, it can be boiled down and bleached off to make a very good laxative.
You found the poopy plant.
You did.
Yeah.
The bowel emptier, if you will.
Well, mushrooms generally grow for a reason in an area. Can I try searching around for mushrooms nearby of different species?
Yep, of course.
I guess it would be-
Roll another nature check.
This would be species.
Or investigation, your choice.
Do nature, that's what I'm best at. 8.
So while you're still in the same little grove area, you look to a rock. And there's this weird type of half-circle mushroom growing on it. It's unfamiliar to you, however, you do discern it's not particularly toxic.
Can I try? I don't suppose I can try to roll anything to discern what it is?
Yeah, you can. You can just roll another nature check if you like.
Okay. 10.
Yep, you pass the DC. You live around this area, so the DC for you is relatively low. Plus, you live secluded for a bit, so that also I take that into account. This is known as Painter's Palette. You can
Oh, I am
scratch.
also. I'm proficient with herbalism kit, which I have an herbalism kit as well. Is that give me anything towards?
Yeah, you can use. I believe so. You could add your intelligence modifier plus your proficiency to the roll if you want to harvest stuff.
Cool.
And it is edible. However, it does require a bit of cooking. And when you pull it off, you remember that you can scratch the underside of it, and it can be used to make a little draw pad.
Hey, what? I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
It's called Painter's Palette, and when you flip it over, the underside of it is very waxy, but also kind of dusty, and you can scratch it to make a little image in it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It is edible. However, it does require a certain method of cooking, usually boiling.
Okay. Is it viable for harvesting and replanting, I guess, elsewhere?
Make an herbalism kit check.
Okay. And what was it that I added to that?
Your intelligence modifier and your proficiency bonus, my bad.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to roll it properly. Did it roll it properly? My intelligence is a +2, and my proficiency is a +2, so I think it did it right.
Yep. There's just like an unnecessary thing in the middle of it, but it's still fine. So you do manage to get pods from this one. They are internal. They are rather delicate, but you found a way to manage it by folding a cloth around them to prevent impact from causing them to burst. And you managed to get...
Oh, that's because it has a modifier built into it that is a 0. That's why I added that little extra 0.
And you get 3 pods from that.
Okay.
And you have 2 of the goblin crown.
Let me see. Add. And could you put the name of those and the amounts in the discussion or wherever, or just send it to me?
Yep, I'll probably just PM it. Give me one momento. So as everyone else starts life, you do notice that Jonic is gone, but you don't see him very far away. He's just frolicking about in nature, harvesting mushrooms. Looking pretty content with his life.
I'll just read my book a little bit while he's doing that.
The heavy one?
Yes.
Relaxing.
While I'm waiting for everybody to get ready, I'm going to take out my oud and I'm going to play it.
Make a performance check. You play a pretty decent tune. Everyone's kind of vibing with it. So I'm gonna say from the time that you gathered all the plants and stuff like that, and where you started reading your book, it's probably been an hour. So Muir, you do learn. Ah yes, pretty much too. It is a hefty boy. So you reading it from the point you left it off. So I'm assuming you probably read the first chapter. So you do gather more that at one point in time, historically, Fell's rituals did use a hefty bit of blood magic. However, it was mostly the healing aspect of the magic.
Okay.
And that's all you really gather from that brief reading. Are you still looking for more mushrooms, John?
Does anyone else object to it? I don't mind if you think we should go out, or if you want to spend more time waiting. It's fine with me either way.
I'm cool with it.
Okay. Let me see. I'm just putting in the amount that I've already got. Sure, I'll try and look for some more again.
Nature check, please.
Can I specify? I'm gonna try and. It might hurt my DC, but I'm gonna try and keep a little bit close. I don't want to get lost in the woods.
Okay, so you're staying closer to where the camp is?
As you know, as comfortable as I am with being in the woods, I don't want to get lost and end up having to take time to find my way back. So I'm gonna at least keep within eyesight of the others.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
Let's see. And you said a nature check?
Yep.
23.
Jesus Christ. Hold up, let me pick from the good. Let me go to the good mushroom list. Let me go to top shelf mushrooms.
Closes the book on okay mushrooms. The good book.
I have stuff planned for like high nature checks, high fishing checks, bad fishing checks. I came prepared. You said you wanted to grow mushrooms. You find a very interesting one. It's perfectly circular in shape, however, the weird casing it has is perfectly geometric. Every straight line and stuff like that intentional. At the very base of it, there's a small little black pearl-like pod almost. And because of that roll on top of that, you know this to be... Scrolling. I just had it and I lost it.
A banana.
He just picks it up and starts trying to peel it. No.
Just shoves the entire thing in his mouth.
This is called goldbane.
It's a deadly poison.
No. It is very prized and sought after for transmutation magic.
Ooh. He turns into a rat.
It is mostly used in the rituals to change one substance to another, so gold to silver, so on and so forth.
Interesting.
This is a very rare mushroom, and it usually only really grows towards the very end of Rotfall, so it's very unusual that you found it.
Okay.
Literally the first day.
I would like to harvest it.
Herbalism kit check.
As carefully as I can, at least. And I need to... What was it, intelligence?
Intelligence plus your proficiency.
Right. That fucking one! I knew it!
So, you carefully lean in, very close to the ground. Using your little rat claws, you kind of snip away the very geometrically designed little cage around this little tiny black pod. You're sweating. It is like a very fine surgery. You get in so close, finally, like getting the top of it off. With two little delicate fingers, you go into it. A bead of sweat drips off your fingertip and hits the pod, which then begins to make a very odd cracking sound as it now is going to erupt.
Ooh.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
It's fucking...
Electronic dice.
Okay. Let's see.
Wait a second. Is it like that episode of Chowder where he
10.
grabs the...
Good news.
Everyone.
So, you're not poisoned,
Yeah.
and you lucky bastard, you only took 7 damage. I rolled 8d8.
Okay. 6. Ow.
As this black silvery mist just wafts in your face, you are coughing and hacking it up. It congeals when it touches moisture, so it's like going in your nose, you have these giant black boogers falling out, and it goes into your mouth, and you just have these black clumps coming out of your mouth, which is causing you to gag and cough. It is not a pleasant sensation whatsoever. Good news. Goldsbane grows in patches, so you have one more chance to get some.
I am going to cast a spell of healing before I do that, because that took off more than half my health.
Go for it.
Healing word. Does this actually do the roll? Yes, it does. 6. Well, that's most of my HP back.
Okay, so you speak your healing word. The black goop that is coating the inside of your mouth and nose slowly falls out. And you're feeling a bit better, so kind of yuck from that experience, but
Hmm.
you survived.
I did not instantaneously die. Okay.
Round
well,
2.
then. Round 2. Fight. Let's see. Is there anything that I could do to make this at all easier?
If you come up with something very creative, I lower the DC, I'm not gonna lie.
What about Mage Hand?
Can I just mold earth and just mold the earth away from the mushroom to try and take the entire thing in one go?
I'll allow it. So, roll a d20 and add your spellcasting attack modifier to it.
Let's see. That's a 4. D20 plus 4. D20. Wait. Duh. I forgot about the advanced dice roller. I was like, where do I roll a d20? 20.
So, you easily part the ground away from the mushroom, keeping its lower half intact. Good news about Goldbane is that the cage surrounding the pod is rather durable, so it can most likely survive transport and some rough and tumble situations.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna take the
Ironically, the only thing that causes the Goldbane to erupt is moisture, not pressure.
moisture.
Oh no, we have to cross a river.
Hmm.
Interesting. Baby, you're the one that has the map, right?
What's up, Dort?
Yes, I do. I had
You would
plotted
know
it
that-
first.
You would know that there is a bridge.
Actually, so, okay. I need to know something.
Yep.
When I polymorph, it says that everything I'm wearing just kind of morphs into me
Mhm.
until I unpolymorph.
Mhm.
Would that mean that I could just cross a river as an animal and it wouldn't get wet because it doesn't exist while I'm polymorphed?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Issue solved.
There's
I'm just-
also a bridge that's along this path, too.
Okay. You don't even need to just swim through the river then.
Just in case the bridge is out, Abe just turned into a seahorse.
It's a giant seahorse.
So that whole ordeal probably took you good 30 or 40 minutes because that delicate procedure took you a hot minute. Because
Wait.
you
I literally just tried to look up giant seahorse and it's a D&D monster.
is it? Is there stat for it?
It is actually a D&D thing.
Huh. I'm gonna Google this too. I'm kind of curious.
What CR is it? It's a CR 1/2. I could polymorph into this when I get the
Yeah, I
ability
thought-
to do
Oh yeah, 'cause of
swimming speed. Yeah. Once I get to do the swimming speed, I can actually polymorph into this. That's funny.
So we can have a land haunts and a sea haunts?
Yeah.
We can. So you do learn a bit more, Muiri, and not much more. You do know that there was a ritual that was used to bind the most serious of offenders and crimes to a point in space. Kind of like the immovable rods, but with chains. And it was only reserved for the most heinous and disgusting of acts.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yep. So the chains are always taut, and you cannot move.
I legitimately can't hear you with my
Is there anything else anyone would like to do before I start their journey?
What can I do to recover 1 HP?
Short rest.
Eat a good berry.
Does anyone have good berry? Hmm. Now I need to get that as well. Anyway, I'm good to go.
Okay, so you're gonna ready yourselves, turn yourselves into Hans and Big Wolf.
So which one of you two wants to carry that giant crystal?
I mean,
Well,
It's
as long
about-
as
About 20 pounds.
so
I
something
will.
something to take it into account is if he's carrying it in a bag while he transforms into Haunts, he won't actually be having to carry it as Haunts.
Do you just throw it in Abe's bag? Okay,
I'm
fair.
just, I'm just freaking doing it, my morning prayers, and then out of nowhere I hear a thump.
And your bag is just glowing.
Just very softly, very gently.
Please, dragon sorcerer just off in the distance.
I just imagine the dragon sorcerer like looking at Abe's bag, looking back at the crystal, looking back at the bag, looking back at the crystal, like, should I keep it? Should I?
Pretty much. Meanwhile, probably Helona going like, no, that's mine.
Oh, it's staying with me. And where I go,
It's
goes.
literally the size of you.
Still.
You just hold it like a little child.
Yep.
Beautiful.
What's-
It's astounding.
What does it do? I have a feeling that you guys identified it when I went to go give the dog his meds the last time, and then I came back and everyone
Oh no,
was
they
gone.
discovered that the magic that is encased in this crystal is abjuration based. I don't think anyone here has identify.
No.
No.
I smell that no one has ever picked an idea.
I would have if I could. I actually really like Identify.
Me too, so much. But they did determine that the magic is abjurational based and it doesn't seem harmful.
We discovered it's a big shiny rock that's magic.
Pretty much. So after the morning prayers are done, everyone readies themselves. You wild shape into your animal forms. Your other friends help saddle and bridle you. And then you're off for the first leg of your journey before your many, many, many short rests. For the sake of brevity, and not like 8 short rests between the here and the halfway point, the riders and the riders and the wolf can roll perception if they like. Because I know the wolf, isn't it advantage on smell? I guess?
Yeah, smells and hearing.
Yeah, it works. So for you, it would just be a straight roll.
Okay. 20.
Okay, well, I'll get to that. God damn, it's starting again.
I am the duality.
The duality of Ratman.
He either critical fails or does a
Oh,
So,
The whole party is duality.
yeah.
it's not
I
a
am-
natural one,
I-
so there's that.
I am not allowed to roll. Is
You
that
can, but
correct?
it's at disadvantage. Because you're galloping at this point.
Nat one, nat one, nat one, nat one, nat one.
Do
nat
it.
One, nat one,
A
nat
nat
one,
20, then a
one,
nat 1.
Nat one, nat one.
Well,
nat
a
one.
nat 20, but still, yeah. Oh, not a nat 1. Actually,
Okay.
pretty fine.
So as you're running along the path, making your way ever closer to the Drow colony city, and you notice a pretty butterfly fly past and you get distracted. And you turn your head, then a giant moth hits you in the face. You instinctually slap it away. You were looking down at the saddle, like holding the reins, like do. You're about to say something to Helena as a giant insect now enters your mouth.
Lamp. It's looking for the lamp.
Fire-blooded.
Where's the lamp?
So what do you do, Maria? This thing is now frantically trying to get the fuck out of your mouth.
Clawed out.
Okay, make an attack.
Oh god.
Oh,
Please be on that one.
the poor moth.
So that's with my hands, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't add my negative strength modifier. Boop.
Okay, so you hit it. So you grab it and throw it out of your mouth. However, because of the way it very rapidly impacted your mouth, it's kind of one of those situations where you fit your whole hand in your mouth and you can't really take it out. So as you're pulling it out, the mouth gets to where your canines would be, as you are tiefling and they are elongated. It gets stuck. But in your sheer bout of panic, you rip its body out, but not its mouth, or not its head.
Oh shit.
And you feel like you're fine for a few minutes, and then the taste hits you.
Oh.
It is the most bitter substance you could ever have imagined. And you just gag and gag and gag till you actually bite down upon it, where it crushes enough for you to leave your mouth, and you kind of just, make a Constitution saving throw real quick. I want to see if this will happen.
She's gonna throw up on the dire wolf's fur.
Maybe. Nope, she projectile almost on a nearby traveler, though. Like, you're square in the face.
Glad it wasn't me.
Person.
Just straight up projectile vomits in some poor man's face. He was out to go trade some goods. And you just ruined his day.
Sucks
I would
to
like
be
to. I would like to pick up pace.
a second.
Easy enough. So, you skip a bit of a few short rests and whatnot. Night's about to hit. Let me find this real quick.
Oh, I was just like, I pick up pace so that we get away from the vomit man.
So question. Did I drop
Yep.
the moth's body or did I hold it?
Did you want to hold it? Because I assumed you just chucked it. So you chucked it? You kept
No, I kept it.
You kept it?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a decapitated moth body.
Can I investigate it?
Okay, easy enough. You could have done that on your mini of short rest.
Do I have proficiency in that? Boop.
You notice its head's starting to grow back over the course of a few hours. And you turn it around and you look at its wings and their eyes. You can swear that as soon as you look at them, they shifted their gaze to you.
Did you just say that it regrew its head?
It's slowly growing its head. However, it's in a
Oh.
dormant-ish state.
Ooh.
Do any of you guys have a cage?
As he pulls out a mousetrap.
Well, I'm a wolf, so I can't even speak. Never mind.
We're in a are we short resting, or are we actually?
I'm assuming this is during a short rest.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
I can't understand her, so
Oh yeah, you can't.
So
Abe just blankly steers right back.
You know
to
what? Can I? This is really weird, but I kind of wonder if you'll allow it. Can I try to cast Entangle to make a cage out of brambles?
I'll allow it. However,
Is everything okay?
just make a d20 roll, just a straight roll.
Okay. I'm gonna be doing it not in the middle of the camp, so I don't accidentally cause weeds to grow everywhere in the middle of camp.
Okay, for easy enough.
Flat D20?
Yep.
10.
So looking for some bramble and other branches of plant matter, you cast a spell and focusing on it, changing it a bit to fit this specific purpose, and you make a very small, lightweight almost birdcage-esque enclosure. It has a little folding vine door that's easy to close and open and won't break. So you know, all that would have happened on that one is you just would have tangled your arms together. I'm not that cruel. I wouldn't make like a bunch of entangling vines around the camp at level 2.
It would have been funny.
It would have, but I'm like, nah.
Okay, so I'm going to bring that over to them and like just kind of like present the cage.
Okay, so you give her the cage, you put the moth inside?
Yes.
Okay.
Put him
Okay.
off seat.
Did you cast a spell to regrow its head?
No, this is
No.
happening to it as it's slowly growing. There's like a little mucus outside of where its head used to be, and it's like
Yeah,
it's really pulsing, kind of like the
Right.
Jeepers Creepers movies where it just puts the new head on and just kind of goes through the old.
I was actually doing that like in character because he's like completely confused as to what's going on.
You can choose to investigate it if you'd like, or you may use nature if you want to.
Yeah, sure. I'll try a nature roll to try and be like, what?
Okay.
What? What?
While he's doing that, she's just gonna put some like leaves from nearby into it and be like, I think
9.
this.
Okay, once again, this is not a very hard DC. You don't get much information. However, you do know this creature is not natural in any sense of the word.
Huh.
It is almost aberrant and against the very nature around you. Is what the sense you get.
I just kind of like squint, and then I describe what I've figured out to the other party, to the rest of the party. I mean, so this is not a normal moth. There's something wrong with it. It's not natural.
I am keeping it.
You can now add caged moth to your inventory.
Just be careful with it.
Are
I
you?
have a question.
Moths
Yeah?
don't grow their heads back normally.
Yeah, Dor?
Can I cast Speak with Animals as a ritual?
Okay, because his head is about to pop out, so you can talk to it if you'd like to. So, after you're done casting the spell as a ritual, which I believe is what? A minute, right? No? 11 minutes? Right? Math? Brain?
It should be a minute.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. My brain died.
One
You cast
action.
a spell, doing a little quick ritual so you don't have to waste any resources. And as you are about to finish the spell, that you just hear a little as the head is now fully regrown. You approach it, and it looks at you. You know something very peculiar about this moth. Its front half, where you would assume the 6 legs would be, the third set, you see little clawed pincers, almost mantis-like in place. And it's just
I look at it. I look at it, and I just ask, "Can you understand me?"
I always could. We always could. And this always strikes you as very odd because animals are only supposed to speak in simple concepts in a very limited way. You get a full sentence.
In Orcish, Janek just like, did it say anything? What did it say?
What exactly are you?
I am a watcher. I watch.
So you are no normal beast.
No. I serve only one being.
Are you of the heavens, or are you of below?
I am from beyond, far beyond such things. From beyond starless skies. And beyond the tree from which this world stems from. I am the will of the maddening buzz. And his desire to watch and to know. And you have invoked his interest.
Now curious, I ask, What is the maddening buzz?
Are you proficient in religion?
Yes.
You may roll, because there is a good chance you might know this.
Does he say that in a language that I can understand?
Do you say that out loud?
I don't actually know how Speak with Animals works. Does it?
It's a conversation, but do you say that in Orcish to the moth itself?
No, I'm just speaking in whatever I'm most comfortable in.
So
Which-
probably a Kier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you think for a minute back to your Scully teachings and conversations of gods and goddesses with Bayat. And you think for a minute. You've had very limited encounters with the Dark Elves from deep below. And it wasn't called the Maddening Buzz. It was known as the Watchful Eye to them, and it was one of their gods. It overthrew a small chunk of the pantheon of the Dark Seldrain, and it took over the domains of madness and the grave. You don't recall much of that, however, it is known this god is incredibly fickle. It is just as likely to eat you as it is to bless you. However, most of the time, its interactions with mortals are rather limited. It just sends a small buzzing insect or a very venomous serpent to them, just to watch ominously and do nothing. There has been talks of much larger creatures of this variation. However, it has been known that these things can be swayed away from their keeper and or lord.
Do I know what it eats?
Roll another religion check. You knew Bayat talked about this at least once. At least once, and you just can't remember. And this escapes you.
I ask the moth. So, what is it that you eat?
I require no sustenance to maintain my form. My purpose is to walk and to gather. Nothing more, nothing less.
But
To let you know, this
can-
moth is... It can, but to let you know, this moth is probably, like, the size from your index finger to halfway down your forearm. So it's pretty big. Pretty big. It's a big old buzzard.
And that went into the tiefling's mouth.
Yeah, it literally the head is about the size of a softball, and it got stuck in her mouth because of her
mouth?
canine.
It's a moth the size of my cat.
What
Yeah.
can I say? I can open my mouth very wide.
You are a snake.
I was going somewhere else, but sure.
I'm not laughing where he tries to tame this.
Okay,
Probably.
so what? I just kind of
Does it look like one of?
I thank the moth for answering my questions.
Does it look like one of these, where it's got the long wings?
Yes. However, where the two dots would be, you see very ominous red circles reminiscent of eyes.
Hmm.
And its response to us like, thank you. I'll be asking some of my own soon enough.
Does anyone else just want to kill it?
You come near it with your weapon, it'll bite you.
I actually ask a follow-up question for that.
Yeah.
And that I ask, how will you ask us questions?
You can think, can't you?
Yes.
Then I can speak. A creature only needs to think to understand me.
and I stopped talking to it, and whoever can understand me, I'm just gonna relay all this information that I just gathered from this huge moth.
So, Janek, or Jonik, you recognize the name The Maddening Buzz, and it sends a little bit of panic down your back because your history does involve this god and a small gatheration of its followers.
Oh no.
However, this was a very, what you experienced was from a very interesting sect of his religions. A lot of them tend to be very annoying and ominous Jehovah Witnesses. Instead of knocking at your door saying, "Do you have a moment to talk about your Lord and Savior?" He's like, "Do you have a moment to let in the moths to buzz in your ears?"
I'll translate.
Is it Dora that's going for a minute?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I'm just gonna wait for him and just have you guys roleplay and do what you like during one of the 8 or 7 long rests.
I hope you know Mawiri is like doting on this thing.
Do you want to attempt to tame this creature?
Sure.
To let everyone know, I'm getting Stibble's Codex of Companions, and I was going to see if anyone wanted to tame an animal.
Oh yeah.
That's a thing that you can do. It's not just like, roll a single animal handling check. No. This is a bond that you have to establish and form.
I'm just picturing that this is how Miri. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
This is what Mawiri sees.
Miri is like how they view the moth.
Meanwhile, everyone else is kind of like, no. So, if you'd like to make the first leg of that journey, Mawiri, just roll an animal handling check.
Oh yay, that's wisdom based.
Gets natural 20.
That would actually be really funny. Oh my
Okay, so
god.
after thinking about it for a minute, you remember that moths like to eat fabric. So you just rummage through your bag and a little hoard of stuff that you brought with you, and you find a little square of silk. You throw it in the cage. You attempt talking to it. You hear a voice in your head saying, "Thank you. I do not need sustenance, but I do rather enjoy this," and it just starts munching away at that. So you have established the beginning. You're probably at the middle point of the bond area, so it might run away from you if you let it out of the cage, but it's liking you. It won't follow a command in combat, but it'll certainly stick around you for the most part.
Yay.
I'm just picturing the in. Do you guys remember? Have you guys watched SpongeBob? I'm assuming. I mean, most people did. Do you guys ever seen that episode with the moth? Hold on.
I've actually never watched SpongeBob.
Oh,
There's a
My-
lot of things you haven't seen.
let me see if I can find it. It's SpongeBob, so don't expect seriousness, from it. But I'm just picturing this.
Oh god. The butterfly episode. I remember that one actually.
That's pretty much more along the lines of how Janek feels because of its connection to a certain thing.
Yes, a very certain thing.
Yes. Anyways, I linked you the stuff to your new pack,
Yay!
which has a very odd but unique use later on. So you definitely established a bond. So from going on forward, the next animal handling check is at advantage.
Yay! Watch her get
So you
some
can-
blunts.
So you can do it right now if you'd like, or later on.
Sure, I'll do it now.
Okay, go ahead. Just 2 rolls. Okay.
I knew it.
Oh, thank
I was
God.
like,
Oh, thank
gonna
God.
roll on this
The
one.
duality.
So,
Okay,
out
so-
of curiosity, what would have happened on the 0?
It goes frantic and tries to leave the cage.
Okay.
So now you kind of have established a small connection to the creature. And it will now, for the most part, when let out, not run away. Unless it's mortally wounded. However, you did this all while still in the cage somehow and managed to establish a bond with the creature just by staring at it.
If you think she hasn't been baby talking it
Oh dear God.
and calling
Just-
it like nice things,
Hypnotoad just.
she's been complimenting it constantly.
Okay, you know what? Roll a persuasion check on top of that too. This is Muir we're talking about. So she has to have like some like
Oh wow.
Oh God,
Interesting.
This is even a bard.
So through baby talk and cooing, it makes a weird little fluttering and little scale-like particles fall off its wings, and it gives way to a very pale white iridescent wing, reminiscent of what moonlight would be. So it's more akin to that fuzzy moth that you saw earlier.
Aw.
It poofed up a bit, but its wings still are kind of like that long flare ribbon of light. It will now most likely not run away from you. However, it's not going to like guard you with its life.
I expect nothing from it other than for it to be near.
So I have to roll something real quick. I have to roll a wisdom saving throw for it.
Oh no.
It passed. And you hear in your head, "You please me much more than the maddening lore. I will stay with you." Congratulations, you established a pretty okay bond with a very intelligent creature. So, do.
Everyone else creeped out. Her baby talks.
Pretty much.
Honestly,
So its special ability is that it can always tell a lie from a truth. But only when it is focusing on one creature at a time. It also has a +7 in insight.
Oh yay.
That's a lot of insight.
These things are meant to watch and gather information. They know when people are bullshitting them.
Eh,
However, it has an AC of like 12 and like 20 hit points. It can do some damage, but it's not meant to like be
it has
a
more
ranger
hit
pet.
points than me.
Maybe so, but this is it can move only 10 feet and fly 25, so pretty much anyone here can catch up to it and whack it with fly swatter. Bad mom, bad.
Idea.
What?
You come near this, I will bite you.
Where is this going?
I will bite you.
I will kill it. It is a creepy bug. It will die.
In your head, you hear, and you're an infant woman with bad opinions.
Rude.
So is killing a random creature that's done you no harm.
You talk in full sentences. It's creepy.
Dearest, there's much more aberrant things than myself.
Okay.
I'm not the largest of my kin.
Wait, there's bigger.
Yes, much bigger.
Oh, lovely.
However, they are just as ambivalent as I am. Or was, I should say. Did you let it out of the cage, Marie?
Yes,
It is on your head.
exactly where I was hoping he was going to be.
Its two very claw-like front legs are on each side of your horns.
Yes.
So after that very interesting encounter of projectile vomiting and then getting a pet, and then spending roughly 7-ish hours of establishing a small bond with it,
Oh god. Over the course of the traveling.
yep, you finally reach the Drow colony of Tel Dalmora. So as you were traveling, the forest thins out, and it gives way to a very unique flora. Much larger mushrooms grow in this area. The ground seems to be covered in a very odd silt, almost.
Now I've just got the Morrowind theme playing in my head.
You're called out because that's what I was going for.
I love Morrowind.
Me too. And you could almost swear that there's a small forest of mushrooms. As you grow closer, it's actually a living space. Large mushrooms that grow into towers turned into large manors, smaller pods turned into smaller living areas. However, this is during the night, so you do notice more activity than what you would expect. You see people going from building to building, short little shop to little shop. It's a pretty decent town. There's probably about 60-ish buildings and maybe barely under 100 people. You notice there's a very large... How do I word this? Very large crescent-shaped building towards one end of the town that on top of it has this very large silver pedestal with a silver moon half-crescent symbol on top. So, first things first, Muiri, as people are darting side to side, you hear a very loud gong of a bell. At first, you're kind of like, what? Then you see people going along the sides of the street in white and gold. You're like, oh, this is a morning ceremony. We have to shut the fuck up.
Ah, I'll tell them that then.
So you tell them that the elves mourn very oddly. They slowly walk the deceased into an area akin to a graveyard. I'm not sure of Drow funeral rites, but you know the High Elves, it is very rude and impolite to speak, to the point where you'll actually face borderline capital punishment. But she's not entirely sure about the Drow, though. But this is eerily similar to what a High Elf funeral would be.
Yeah, no one speak.
So do you guys fall in line with the other crowd and just part ways for the... What would be the pallbearers? Okay, so... Do you go on the left or right side of the road?
Whichever one I'm closer on, like,
For you, that would probably be the left.
I would go for left then.
Do you guys also follow suit, or are you on the opposite side?
I'll follow Janik.
Okay. So you...
What'd you say?
Okay, so you go with the crowd. All got these nice white robes. And the bell, the once loud gonging of the bell turns into soft chime. As these people in silver robes, holding a very Stretcher-esque thing with a body on it, clutching a very elegant charm, is then walked out of the city. They make an abrupt right, and you see now there's this large glowing field of trees. Very odd trees. You squint your eyes a bit into the darkness, kind of stand on your tippy toes, push a few of the drow aside very gently, not disrespectfully, and the weird plant that you see before you is not really a tree. It's this weird mass of, looks to be vines, very fleshy almost, which grow and intertwine, interlap around the body. And at the very top, there's these weird little bulbous protrusions that are reminiscent of leaves, and it glows. It's a very soft and almost aether-like purple. There's a small field of these, probably no more than 10 or 15 of them. The two pallbearers lay the body down. One of them waves their hand, the body animates briefly and stands. Still in the same position while standing, and the vines interlap and interweave it. And it grows to know one of these large plants. The chiming stops. And almost not missing a beat, the robes are taken off and people return to their daily lives like it was nothing. The thing to note, the Drow men that you see are relatively short. They are about 5'5" to 5'6", and the Drow women are much, much taller at 6'3" to 6'5". And now it's just a normal, bustling small town.
Well,
I'll move over to let you know. Tel Dalmora in Elvish translates to small death.
Ah,
I'm assuming within the bustle of the city, there's different languages being spoken. Or is
When
it-
you listen in, or if you'd like to listen
Hmm.
you hear a bit of Elvish, a bit of an odd dialect of Elvish, too, from the two priests that walk by you from the little small field of glowing flora. You also hear a bit of Undercommon, but the primarily what you do hear people being spoken is either Elvish or Undercommon, with a bit of few things mixed in here and there.
Well, I know how to speak and I understand Undercommon. I do not speak Elvish.
Are you trying to listen into a conversation?
Nah. I was just curious to see what it was like in terms of how much of each type of language was being spoken.
It's a pretty weird mix. It's primarily Undercommon. However, you also hear a person speak Undercommon, then a person respond in Common.
Interesting.
You also hear the reverse of that being someone speaking in Elvish and replying in Undercommon, a person speaking Common and replying in Elvish.
Mix of the three.
Yep.
Is there any signage?
There is, and there is an Undercommon lettering, then Undercommon translation from Undercommon Common.
Hmm. One second.
So the translation of the town in Undercommon would actually be small repose rather than small death in Elvish. Due to funky translation.
Yep. What kind of... Okay, so judging by the signage, I would assume that's somewhat scattered around. What does it seem like the area of the town we're in is?
You're more along the line, you're pretty close to the one major road that leads through the city. And it's pretty much just a straight line that goes on for a bit, then curves towards the other end. So there is like a little large welcome sign, I would say. It kind of goes like an arch that goes over the main road. It has a little sign saying Tel Dalmora. But the arch itself has writing in Undercommon. However, towards the very edges of it, you see a very weird dialect of Elf.
Okay.
Oh, and before I forget, Abe, you do recognize that silver moon symbol? You recognize it as an aspect, or one of the many, many aspects to your many-faced god.
Oh, give him a second.
Forget what?
Forgot something?
Forget what?
What?
Did I forget what?
Come off here, please. Come off here.
Okay, give me a second. Are you smacking him in the face with the door?
Might protect my feet.
Anyways, while everyone's doing stuff, Jonic and Infant Barbarian, what would you like to do?
What? So I'm assuming the town is laid out relatively simply. What kind of business establishments are there?
From a quick run around the city, which it's not entirely big, you could probably do a full lap in probably under 30, 40 minutes. From what you can see, there's a simple grocer, so like you can buy like basic supplies, farming, food, rations, etc. You find what you assume to be some form of church or place of worship, which is that half-moon building with the large half-crescent moon silver post on the very top of it.
Okay.
You find... we go back to the Till Delmore section. You find something that translates to Moonweaver's Needle, which is a tailor. They do. It also has a little like inscription under it, which is very odd. Or on the other side of the sign, I should say. They usually do repairs, however, they do take commissions for making clothes, etc. They have a single smith.
Ow. Ow.
And you don't really see anything else beside that. This community seems to be very farm-based, as you see around the other back end of the city. You see like little, almost swamp-esque areas where they seem to be cultivating some weird plant growth. And outside most of the buildings, there's little almost gardens. So it seems that they're pretty self-reliant and self-sufficient.
Okay. So there's... Let me make sure I haven't forgotten. There's the general store.
Yep, which is
There
a
was-
grocery and stuff like that.
There was a smithy.
Yep,
Oh man, what was there?
you have a tailor too.
Taylor. Was that the three?
Tailor, smith, grocer, and they do have a singular inn that you have found.
I'm sorry, it cut out a little bit.
You also found an inn.
Oh, and then okay. Let me.
It's not a very big town. It has the bare minimums.
Any interesting people?
And if you like to roll investigation.
General store, inn, smithy, and the tailor. So there's 4 places. You know what? I'd like to try and go. Does anyone else have anything that they'd like to visit?
So she's going to a random person real quick, so... So you do find a very tall woman, very long platinum hair that seems to gray towards the tips. Her eyes are a very piercing red, almost demonic looking. You see her, she's in the white, very priest-like vestments. Her bodice is embroidered with that of silver and some moons, some stars. She kind of almost effortlessly and gracefully glides along the ground. However, you do notice and hear footfall. And she goes into that crescent moon building.
Alright.
That is the only individual of note that you see during your trip with Jonik around the town.
Well, she was pretty.
So you do get a glimpse of her, Jonik, which is this very, very, very tall drow woman.
Mm.
She's probably bordering 7 feet tall.
Mm.
And you see her in this very nice, elegant, flowy, like a priestly vestment, silver bodice. with great
Unusually
embroidery.
tall for the area, right?
She's like skirting the red line.
Yeah. But did you mention something about what was it? The females were on average like really short, like around
No,
3
the males were unusually
Oh.
short. They were like
Oh.
5'5", like
Right.
5'9".
Hmm.
And the females were you haven't seen one that's been shorter than 6 foot.
Okay. And they went into the moon crescent, the crescent moon.
So
Just-
also with your experience with Drow, you also know such things that they are 6-fingered, the fingers end in black claws. Some Drow have been known to grow chitinous growths along their forearms, backs, other areas. They have very odd teeth structure. They are in the shape of shovels almost. And they're often used to bite through chitinous insects, which is what they're used to eating in the Underdark.
Oh, they're back. Just wait. Dort is still not here, right? Dort?
I think he's still doing stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hi.
Oh, he's here.
Welcome.
Anyways, Dort, you recognize the symbol on the Half Moon building as a aspect to one of the many aspects to your god. She's referred to as the Star Weaver in your religion, or the Moon Maiden, I should say Moon Maiden. My bad. Brain died.
Yes, the Moon Maiden. A good one.
Yep.
Do you say that in your native tongue?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. And then after I say it, it takes me a second, and then I realize these people can't understand a word I'm saying. And then I say it in a language that you guys can understand.
When you said it in your native language, Janek didn't even he didn't even like look at all because he's gotten used to it at this point. You're just speaking in this language he has no idea how to speak. But then when you
So that you know, Dort, you can, if you'd like to, perform that ritual to attune the rug to this to this god. And while you're in this place of worship, you can attempt to ask the god itself that you've attuned it to, or one of the others, or all of the aspects that you've gathered at once.
Anyway, when Janek hears you say that in common, he kind of starts.
I can't.
Oh, sorry, not common. What did you say it in?
It was probably orcish.
Hmm.
Oh, which ones were which aspects were already pre-attuned to it? Because
I had it written down, so give me 1 second. So you had Moradin, Fel, Lolth, and Calidoran.
Hmm.
okay, Moradin, Fel, Lolth, and
Calidoran, which is like a gnomish god. He's like a true neutral gnome god too.
oh, you mean the one that you renamed to Kalyun's mom?
Yes. So if you'd like, at any point in time, you can attempt to attune to this god. And while in the place of worship, you can use the complicated question feature.
not at the moment.
Okay. So you're in this town. Pretty late at night, I'd probably say getting close to 9 for that long journey. The town is bustling as if it were day, though. What would you like to do?
Is that to all of us?
Yep.
I would, for now, like to. I'd like to try and go to the general store.
Okay, easy enough. It's probably about a 5-10 minute walk from where you are. There is a little archway right next to the fungal growth, which is the building to this area.
Okay. Before I go, I'm going to let the group know where I'm headed so they know where I'm going.
Okay.
And then once I'm at the general store, I'm just going to kind of peruse the wares.
So it is ran by a very... Some of the elves is very odd. You can never really tell their age. They do show some signs. You notice that there are crow's feet on this man's face. However, it is still remarkably young looking other than that. He probably looks no older than probably 30-something. So, him showing signs of age, it's very hard to tell. He could be 600. Who knows?
5 billion years old!
True, who knows? Elves, man. Elves. He's just rocking back and forth in a chair. He did notice you, going back to looking over what looks to be a ledger.
I am going... how is the store arranged? Is it just...
there's... Think of like a produce section, so you have like all these like stands with like fruit, vegetables, cured meats, nuts. And along the walls on shelves and like little... Like the little things you put tools on, like little like wooden boards that you can like hang them on. You see tools on there and stuff like that. You see barrels filled with other odds and ends, stuff like that. So it's very much like you're supposed to like look around and peruse while this man looks over you to make sure you don't steal.
I am going to do that.
So you look around, you see some stuff that you're used to seeing. You see some of the common stuff like hag's hair. You see some other like common fruits, apples, carrots, other stuff like that. You see this weird little rooty potato-looking thing, which you recognize as an ash yam. And other like you see other like tubers and root-esque things being sold here too.
Do I know if ash yams reproduce like a traditional root in that you can just kind of plant it and it'll eventually grow into more of them?
With your experience with them, they can grow pretty much anywhere as long as the soil is silt or ashy. And it does work like that relatively.
Interesting.
They pretty much just need the ash or silt-like soil. That's all they really need.
And I'm assuming the area surrounding this is that type of soil.
It is primarily silt. You don't see any ash. It's very like, it's borderline going into a marshland almost.
Which is completely different from the area we started in.
It was like it's pretty different. However, it's like very gradual like change in the environment.
I see.
The trees became sparse, the grass became less prominent until you got to this really weird silt-filled area.
I'm thinking. What tools do they have?
Just common farm tools like saws, axes, stuff that you could use to churn butter, etc. Herbalism kits too, healer's kits, first aid, such things.
I'm thinking do they have any mushrooms?
Yes, they do.
Hmm.
They have a very selectman.
What's up, Dort?
You are slowly becoming the freaking Underdark man.
You are. Ironically, you've never really been into the Underdark.
Yeah.
You've only met the denizens of it.
He's the mushroom man.
So yeah, like the other things that we discussed, the three most common ones earlier: milkroot, hag's hair, moth flicker. They're all apparent and being sold here. Mostly milkroot and hag hair, though. Moth flicker is in a very small corner area where there's only a few stalks of it.
Was the let me think. Oh, actually, on an unrelated note, you sent me the names of those other mushrooms, but could you send me the name of the one that I harvested as well?
Oh, the goldbane?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I spell it right.
Yep, no problem. Give me 1 minute. I'll just give you, because you only have one right now, so I'll send just the name.
Ow! Ow!
Cat.
Yeah, cat.
Now, you said that they have. Let me real quick go into my notes because I have notes for this. You said that they have. What was it about moth flicker that you said?
Oh, I have to remember that now. It is a common ingredient for healing potions, from what it says in my notes.
Okay. You said that they have. Did you say that they have hag's hair?
Yes.
Was I already? Hold on. These mushroom types that I have in my home, were they growing already, or were they available to be grown?
They're available to be grown because you didn't know where to procure them.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. So, and they have milkroot. I think you mentioned they have milkroot.
Yep, they do. They have a bunch of milkroot, which is most commonly. It's kind of like a staple food here. It's the most easy thing to grow, and you can grow it plentifully and very easily.
Do they have starter kits? As in, like, I guess
Like-
they would be pods?
Do you want to ask the salesperson?
Yes.
So you approach the counter, and he looks up, and he looks very blissful, almost very eerily blissful.
I will say in common my question first.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
what do you happen to sell any mushroom pods to start a farm?
He takes a very gentle breath and stands, and you notice that his clothing is very muted in tone. You see some like very dark burgundies, a few bits of maybe what would be a yellow at one point, but it's turned into like a light beige brown. And he kind of just walks over to one of the mini areas where milkroot is being sold. And there's a little drawer underneath, and he pulls it out. He pulls a few of them out for hag's hair and a few of the mushrooms you haven't really seen before. I think we do. They're slightly cheaper than the actual plant themselves. For a pack of 8 pods, he does math, 5 silver.
Would it be possible to have those of different types? I'm looking to start a variety.
You see him snap his fingers, and all the drawers where the mushrooms are, a little bit too aggressively open, but you see him giggle for a minute and forget that he used the wrong spell.
Janik just is like taken aback a bit by that.
He kind of just like laughs at his own mistake and just said, "You can peruse as you wish. The prices are written in both undercommon and common." He goes back to his ledger and he kind of just like very gracefully and just you get the very weird aura around this man. It's very calming and relaxing. Even the scent of him as he walks by and it wafts to you, it's a very gentle, very soft lavender smell.
Okay. Janik is going to try to pick out two of pretty much everything. How many varieties of fungi do they have?
So that are edible, including milkroot, hag's hair. Moth flicker is edible, but it's not tasty.
Even if it's useful for something as well.
Ooh, okay, so this might be a bit long.
Hmm.
So, aside from moth flicker, hag's hair, and milkroot, there is. Where is it? Wolf's hair, which is this very soft, almost grass-like patch of soft, like mold that you'd see off of bread. It's used more or less like a sweetener. You hear him remark as he approaches that it's actually rather healthy. It is rich in many essential vitamins. However, he says it's not wise to eat this every day, especially those who are not of elven descent.
Okay.
Do. You go to one that looks like a very ugly mushroom. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a flower almost. When you get close to it, you can just see this gross humanoid face in it, and it's like expression of agony, and it looks like it's puking, crying at the same time. And he says it's Wraith's Yell. And
You know what?
It's used as an accelerant for fire starting.
Oh, fire starter accelerant. Okay. Do you mind if I need to go eat dinner?
That's fine.
So I will be back.
I'll send you the whole list of stuff.
Okay.
There's about, I believe, 4 more things that are commonly used.
As long as it's not too expensive, I'll be buying 2.
Oh, no, they're all the same price. It's 5 gold per 8 pods.
Cool.
Not 5 silver, my bad.
2 of each. All right. I'll be back.
I'll send you the list. So while Jonik went out shopping, what do you want to do?
All right. I'll be back.
No problem.
Bye. What do you want to do, Helena?
Durin's very bustling Drow town. People are lively and yet a little bit sullen. What would you like to do? The town is yours.
I'm not sure. Is there anything interesting shops that have interesting stuff outside?
So when you went around with Jonik, you found a smithy, an inn, a grocer, and a tailor.
What's at the smithy?
Very common sets of weapons, mostly tools, however.
Hmm. Any poisonous daggers?
They sell regular daggers.
Okay. Or fly swatters?
They kind of look at you at the question, like, what?
You know, the things that go whack. And she does like the little whacking look.
They kind of just look at you again. They're kind of concerned right now. Muri would know this from her vague interactions with other elves and a very vague introductory history with other elves. The Drow are usually accustomed to keeping large insects as pets, cattle, and other things.
Careful there. You're asking if you have something to kill one of their pets.
I wasn't talking about one of theirs.
I have no pets. I just have a friend.
I'm not talking about yours either. Uh, is there anybody else interesting?
Roll investigation.
I don't know. Okay.
You see him first. He's a rather ravishing drow individual. He carries a violin. You see him beelining to the nearest inn. As soon as you point him out, Lure, you make eyes with this dashing elven man. A bit taller than the rest of the males surrounding him. It is very odd, almost empty, emotional face. Kind of shifts from it. You see a bit of a smirk. You notice his teeth are different. They're not the shovels. They're the more common high elven, very flat and rectangular. You see him smirk at you, then you just walk into the inn.
Looks like someone's gonna looky at you.
In your head, Murray, he wishes to breed with you.
Oh, I'm buying you some clothes just for that, little moth.
You're getting like a little moth sweater.
I'm buying it food.
Do you want to go into the tailor's?
Yes.
It's run by two younger drow individuals, both women. And as soon as you enter with that thing on your head, they just look at you.
Hello.
And they both speak in eerie unison, saying, "Yes, may we help you?"
So, I'd like to
They
buy
both
a...
put their heads opposite directions. They say, "So."
Can I have a, do you have any silk scarves?
We have silkworm scarves.
I mean, yes, that.
Once again, this is all in unison. Would you like to purchase?
How much can I get for 10 gold?
They both look at each other, and they rummage through a bit, and they manage to produce 3 scarves, which they tell you is worth 10 gold.
I'll take all 3.
So mark off 10 gold, and you now have 3 finely made silk scarves.
I'm handing one to the moth.
It's 2 little, like, knife-like hands just grab it, and it's just slowly munching. Very calmly.
Thank you, you two, I'm guessing twins. Goodbye.
And they just don't say anything and just go back to what they were doing. Once again, even though they're doing 2 separate tasks at the moment, one sweeping and one writing down something in a book, you still feel like a weird, odd unison between them. Now you're back out in the street. People are passing by. The stars are now out, and it is now the first day of the month of Ra.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the moth off with... Oh god, who's around me?
I'm assuming Abe at this point still.
Hi. You can't freaking. I can't understand a word that you're gonna say, but this is gonna be interesting.
So she looks between Helena, who threatened to kill the moth before, and who hasn't yet, and just kind of takes him off and hands him to Abe and just goes, hold on to that for now.
So
I
see,
just kind. I
see what
just
the
kind
exchange
of have to look
happens.
my-
It ignores the gesture and just flutters on top of your head, Abe. You feel a bit of fabric touch your back, and it's still munched on that silk scarf.
Goody, it's on top of my turban.
So,
She has now given you the child.
I'm pretty
The
sure that thing
turban,
is older than me.
The turban is made of a cloth. It's not silk.
this thing has a preference to higher end fabric thanks to our friend.
And she's gonna give Helena the
Okay.
2 other silk scarves.
You can borderline use both of them as blankets, Holland.
Yay! I get to be warm.
In a very swampy, humid area.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What type of scarf are they? Are they a unity scarf or are they just a draping scarf?
More like a draping scarf. This is meant for like nobility.
Technically, I can make a dress out of them.
Okay, what?
I can make a dress out of them.
Oh hell yeah, you can. You're only 2 feet tall.
Woo!
And I'm just going to probably disappear for the night. Goodbye. Have fun
Is
paying
it-
for your rooms.
Is it doing what I think you're doing?
Yes.
To who I think you're doing?
Oh, you mean the man who smirked at me?
Yes.
Yes.
2 persuasion checks and a dexterity check.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Okay.
Where is my dex? Oh, there's my dex. I remember what my dex looks like now.
And you fade into black, not having to pay for a room. And Abe and Holland are left in the night air. Still pretty warm. It's still about room temperature right now.
It always seems that we're left alone.
Is she saying that in Orcish or in Common?
In Orcish. Generally, when I talk to you, I'm in Orcish.
Appears so. I just kind of go. So, what tribe are you from? I do not have experience. I do not have very much experience with your kind.
What tribe did you come from, Helena? Or if you'd like, you can roll D4 for me.
Sorry, her Discord's giving her a bit of trouble.
Ah, yeah. Technology.
Are you playing solitaire?
Is when I do not look at Rule 20, something is always being drawn. And I'm like, what?
Roll 20 is always being drawn on, and now there's just an entire playing card deck. just the whole thing.
As Helena is now deep in thought, trying to remember what clan she came from.
Oh.
Goodbye?
She freaking blue screened and passed out.
Oof.
Oh, wait.
A magician. Apparently with a huge fucking mouth.
I got back.
Hello. What tribe did you come from? Or do you want to roll a d4 and see what fate says?
I'll roll a d4.
You came from the Mistwalker clan.
The Mr. Walker clan?
You have encountered them. They're mostly isolationist in nature. However, that's not to the point where like, ew, get away from me. It's more like we kind of just want to be left alone to do what we want.
Do I... okay, the big question.
Yeah.
Is it a halfling clan?
Nope, it is an orcish clan.
I just kind of am taken aback for a second. And I just kind of go, you are of an orcish clan?
I was adopted.
Oh,
Long story, don't want to get into it.
okay.
What about you?
I am from sorry, my phone went off, and I kind of just like I stared daggers at it. I am of the Akiri clan. We are desert nomads.
Nice. So do you want to go see how much the inn room's gonna cost?
Okay.
So now you go to the inn, which is called Mold Pillow Inn. Very endearingly.
Mold glow?
Mold Pillow Inn.
Okay. The thing lagged just for a second, so I thought you said mold glow.
Nope, mold pillow.
Okay. So
However, the interior is very nice, warm. There's a few tables and stuff just littered about in a very odd diagonal fashion. Very unusual. There's a fire in the center where people sometimes put food along the edges of it where the stone is to let it cook for a bit. And there's probably about 4 people in here, aside from yourself.
Mhm.
Once again, this is primarily Drow. However, we see some half Drow in here. They're not looking as lively as the others. They look about ready to fall asleep at this point in time.
okay.
Do any of
Where
them
is the
fall over?
innkeeper?
So the innkeeper's at the bar right now. And what was your question, Helena?
Did any of them fall out of their bar stool?
Nope. They're just kind of like a student falling asleep.
Can I scare one of them to see if it happens?
Roll an intimidation check, but if you'd like, you can use your strength modifier.
Just goes up to one of them and flips the table.
You kind of just slam a book against the table, but they are unfazed. One of them just kind of looks up, being like, "What?"
You look tired. I thought you should wake up soon.
No, that's the full-blooded people. We work during the day when they don't like to be outside. You just
Oh,
person next to him kind of like face plants into his plate. And the one that's like half awake talking, he kind of just laughs.
So what do you guys do?
Just small little things here and there. Sometimes we clean. Sometimes we do some farm work here and there. General maintenance and what have you.
What's your favorite thing to do?
I usually run errands for a lot of the older folk and just go store to store.
That
And
seems fun.
pretty easy, pretty easy. And at this point, he kind of also face plants at his plate. And as you approach the innkeeper, which is a very simply dressed Drow woman, her hair in a very odd crown-like braid, she kind of just glances up from a book, closes it. She also has this eerily blissful expression about her. She smells faintly of vanilla and campfire.
Can I roll insight on her to see if I can determine if the bliss is some kind of like something's up or something?
Yeah, go for it. Let me check the moth real quick. Okay. So you're looking for any little break in the expression, any little eye movement, any body language cues, and you get nothing. This one is stone. I have the watchful app, the guidance cantrip, but it doesn't. It has minor illusion, but does not have guidance. And you just can't gather anything from her. She leans forward. Do you need something?
I have a question out of a character.
Yep.
Has I'm sorry, but I have forgotten your name. Has she finished with the messing with the Walking Dead
Yeah.
yet and next to me, or is this lady just speaking to me directly?
She's speaking to you directly, but she is speaking in Undercommon. So it's even more confusing than you to usual.
Just blank stare. Like confused blank stare.
She tilts her head, and that one blissful expression does not leave her. Then, ominously, after looking at you up and down, almost to the point where it's looking through your soul, she responds deadpan and a cure. Do you need?
I am absolutely shocked that she actually spoke my language, and I am really, really just like, there is something up in my head.
You see a very gentle smile go across her face. When you've lived as long as I have, you meet many people. advantage. Nonetheless. Do you need some?
Yes, I was. Is it looking to rent a room for the night?
Just one? Or more for your friends?
I speak to her in Orcish, because I'm gathering that she's just as puzzled as I am most of the time. People speak languages. And I explained to her what she was saying.
That gentle smile kind of goes a bit bigger to like a full-blown smile. You can kind of get out that she is just messing with people. She just likes to put on the very weird innkeeper mystique.
Abraham does not mind sharing a room with anyone. Just putting that out there.
So she does say that there is only 3 rooms available. So one of y'all is gonna have to double up.
I don't mind.
There's only 3 of them in a room.
You know, right about now, like an hour and a half has passed since you left. Hilariously. And you're doing your not so shameful walkout. So you're kind of like barefoot walking the inn, holding your shoes, your hair a mess. Few new scratch marks here and there, a bite mark around your neck. Very deep one too.
I'll take that scarf. That's mine now.
Snatch.
You just see Helena just wearing it like a toga and it's just gone now.
Fine.
Can I inspect her using a medicine check to see if she's harmed? Because
Yes, yes, you may.
she has been harmed.
Yes, I
I can
encourage
almost
such things.
guarantee she has definitely been harmed and she will go back for seconds.
She has a scratch mark, but it looks like something a cat would do to someone from your perspective.
And what about the bite mark?
Roll a separate medicine check for that. Looks like she got attacked by an animal.
I am actually, like, really, really concerned. So I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on the bite.
So, the very deep bite, the red mark's in lessen, so now it's more of like a bruise in the process of healing. However, a lot of the claw marks are pretty much just.
Now
So
that's a handy spell.
Hey guys, I'm back. What happened?
Mawiri got some tail.
Oh,
no, Mawiri was attacked by an animal.
Anyways, John, I did send you some of the mushrooms you could buy.
I was gone for 5 minutes. Nah, I'm kidding.
So we can cut back
You were
to you.
gone for 5 minutes.
So we can cut back
You
to
were
you for a
gone?
quick second. So he has, including the milk root, hag's hair, and moth's flicker. He has wolf hair, Rathiel, golden crest, beeswax, which is a mold that you can grow, dragon's breath, Varun's vanity, and cup mushroom, which is a cup-shaped mushroom that is also edible.
Does he give me any information in terms of like tips on safely storing them until I can plant them later?
He says, with the exception of Dragon's Breath, avoid. Wait, look at my notes.
I know there was moisture that caused the other one to go off.
He says Wolf's Hair and Racy are the same way, moisture will set them off. The rest are triggered by extreme heat. From your knowledge, after Rotfall, it's very easy for forest fire to start, which then causes the spores to spread, that which will then regrow next Rotfall.
Hmm.
Kind of the easy way to get through that is to mimic the environment of Rotfall, which is not too terribly hard.
So.
You said you wanted 2 of each?
Yes.
Let me do some quick math.
I was planning on just starting a little underground subterranean mushroom growing farm in my little house.
So that's 20 pods in total. So that's a gold and like a silver.
Let me see.
Spider farm.
I will hand him 2 gold, and for his help, I'll say to keep the change.
He gives like a very nice nod. Once again, his blissful expression has not shifted whatsoever, nor has the tone of his voice. He then quickly writes something in his ledger and then goes back to reading a different. And you head over, and as you are gathering all your stuff, making sure it's in safe pockets and stuff that it wouldn't get exposed to much of the elements, through the inn window, which is not too terribly far, you do see Muiri just getting healed right now a second by Abe.
Did you say healed?
Yep.
I see Muiri being healed through a window.
Yeah, it's not too terribly far. It's probably like 20-ish feet away.
I just kind of like, what building are they in?
They're in the inn. It's called the Mold Pillow Inn.
Is it low? Are they like on the first? Is it multiple stories and they're on the first story, or is it a single
It's
story?
hard to tell because the building is built out of a large mushroom cap. It looks like there could be 2 stories, however, it's hard to tell without looking in the interior.
How high up is the window?
It's about 5 feet from the ground, roughly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna kind of go, hey, what are you guys doing?
In Orcish. She was attacked by an animal.
What? What? Inside the inn?
No, she came back. She was carrying her shoes. Her hair is a mess. So she had this really deep bite mark and scratches all over her.
Okay,
Right.
so
Huh.
you spent a lot of time with the Drow. This is a very common sign of someone interbreeding with a Drow. As during the mating process, they latch onto the mate, burrowing in their claws and biting down the neck to keep them in place.
Well, Janek is gonna keep his mouth shut.
It's pretty much like, ah, yes, sweet child, I will not say a word. No one will corrupt you upon my watch.
Okay. Well, oh,
Hello,
never mind.
goodbye?
I am gonna go inside the inn, and I'm gonna try and I guess book a. What? Before I go, what did you guys book a room?
They were about to, and the innkeeper's just been rocking in her chair, her expression once again going back to that weird, eerie bliss.
So you guys aren't in a room right now. Okay, I'm gonna go inside.
So when you walk in, there's a large center fire, and all of the tables are oriented diagonal.
Huh.
It's very odd.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess we can get a. I'm sorry. I keep that GIF that Dort posted has just got me freaking mesmerized. I can't pull my eyes away from it. But the freaking moth,
The Mothra or the big moth?
the big moth. Wait, they're both. Wait a minute.
Okay, animated moth or moth?
The real moth.
Okay.
I kind of like moths. They're interesting. I don't know what it is about bigger insects don't bother me as much as smaller insects. Small insects are more like creepy to me. I don't know why. I guess just because it's hard to keep an eye on them. And then you've just got the giant wolf spider that's huge but still hard to keep an eye on. It just disappears.
Speaking of that one moth that Marie has now come into possessing, it goes back to on top of your head and just kind of eats itself.
Well, I guess we should. We're gonna be here for a while, so we should probably, get a room or two, or however. I don't really care. I can make my own room if I have to.
So there's 3 rooms available, and the price is 2 silver per night.
I have already mentioned that I am okay with sharing a room with somebody else, so
I will pay for a room that I will share with Abe. Then that is fine.
Okay. So that means Helena and Marie get their own rooms?
Room
So who's paying for what?
for a room.
How much? How much was it again? I'll pay for mine.
It's 2 silver per room.
Okay. Upon hearing 2 silver, Janek just kind of takes out a gold piece and just like looks at it, and then looks at the shop, the innkeeper, and is like, I don't have silver. I got this.
So you see her hand stretch out of her nicely made silk dress. You know saying that, Drow have 6 fingers, but hers are unusually long. You see just the hand just gently go over the gold and just slowly drag it off the counter. And she just does a simple nod of acknowledgement.
Well, actually, if that's 2 silver, 1, 2, 3, is that 5 days? 5? Yeah, it should be 5 days. That's fine, right?
She nods and she just hands you this very odd rectangular rod that has a little dangly at the end of it that looks like it's supposed to go on a keyring. Each one of them has a symbol on it. It says the symbols will match the door upstairs. So, Jonik gets a tragedy case.
Oh no, he said.
Abe gets the all-seeing eye. Oh, no, wait, Maria gets the all-seeing eye. Helena gets
okay.
the sword.
I was about to say,
What does Helena get?
if I got the
The sword. What do you feel to say?
I was about to say, if I got the all-seeing eye, then all of a sudden I would understand what had happened to Mawiri.
I know everything.
I'm not calling it. I know what you did.
He's just like in his room later and it just clicks and he's just like, wait a second.
Oh!
That non-birdie.
I freaking just wake up so suddenly and jerkily that I just scare the crap out of John A.
So, are you long resting here?
Hmm?
Are you long resting here?
Is it pretty late in the day?
It's pushing about like almost 10:30 right now. And you're getting a little bit tired, but not as bad as you'd expect after taking like a long series of short rests.
Shit, it's 10:30.
Yep. Oh shit.
I really.
Oh shit!
I
It's
really
10:30.
don't
Wait, it's actually 10:30.
I didn't even notice. My Discord's blocking my little camera. Or my little clock.
I didn't even think to check until Dwart said it.
I was actually talking about something in game, but that works too.
You're like, shit, it's 10:30, and then I go and I check. Shit, it's actually 10:30.
But do you guys wish for a long rest?
I mean, I did what I wanted.
So, John, for a long rest.
I'm sure Muiri does need to rest, and she is definitely updating the little fell statue she has.
Okay, so you're gonna do that then, rest?
Yes.
Okay, Helena?
I'm just gonna rest.
Silent.
You're silent. It didn't come through at all.
I think she's typing.
Resting.
Resting? Okay. Abe, you resting too?
Did you ever get pushed to talk?
Mm-hmm.
Again?
Okay. So the next morning, you're woken up by the soft smell of what appears to be some incense almost. It's just like permeating the room. The rooms do not have windows, so it's very hard to tell what point of day it is. However, all of you wake up roughly the same time. Jonik being the first to wake up, and his movement waking up Abe. Muiri just... You toss and turn, then you turn over on the fell statue and it hits your head.
Janek was actually sleeping on the floor.
So you get up and one of your bones snaps, crackles, and pops, and Abe wakes up. Helena wakes up
I
from
just
her own snoring.
No, you know what happened is Janek woke up and he went and he got some crackers out of his backpack and he just went.
The crunch and munch woke you up.
Just crunch.
I thought you were gonna like go with that one gif of like the rat holding the cracker and it's just like furiously chewing it. Really fast.
Just friggin'.
Those of you know how food aggressive Jonik is. So you wake up, it's about 7, 8 in the morning. Slept in a little bit. There's
Time for morning prayer.
more patrons in the bar, however, instead of being the half-elves, you notice there's much more drow within the bar.
Oh, wait! I found Janek. There he
He
is.
looks so content.
Spaghetti.
Yum.
I thought that was string cheese.
Just a happy creature.
So, the day is yours. What would you like to do? Why?
What'd you say?
What's up?
Oh.
That is cute.
It just has this in the background.
Jonik's theme changed my mind. Anyways, the day's yours. You're woken up. You have breakfast. Very simple soups and a salad. Very odd breakfast food, but not too uncommon for the drow. You're refreshed, rewoken. What would you like to do?
You mean aside from prayers?
Yeah, I'm assuming that was part of like a bit after breakfast.
Well. I don't know what to do.
I'm gonna try to find someone who can tell me what this rock is.
Tell us what?
The glowing rock.
Wait, why was it that we went here? I forget.
This is along the way to Random.
Yeah, this is along the way. This was a stopping point. You bought 5 days worth of room.
Okay. Alright, fine. I've only got gold anyway.
So you guys looking for work in
No.
the meantime? Are you gonna just continue on with your travel?
Helena wanted to investigate the rock we found, the glowing one.
Oh, so you're gonna ask someone about it?
Her mic keeps cutting in and out.
You could attempt to ask the innkeeper, find someone else.
I currently have it on my person, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody yeeted it into my bag.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask for the rock back first.
Okay, so you talk to Abe.
Can I have the shiny rock back?
I just take it out of the bag with no question and I hand it back to her.
Okay. So who would you like to ask, Infant Barbarian?
Innkeeper first.
So she once again has that very eerie, blissful energy about her. This time wearing a very soft gray dress. You approach her. One eye drifts and darts to your direction. What do you say?
By any chance, do you know what this is?
She looks down into this rather large crystal. And she's like, be a nice centerpiece.
I thought so too.
You're better off asking one of the priests. They know more about relics of the past than I will.
Where can I find one of them?
The Half Moon Building, the Church of Elestri. Or
Okay.
Chantry, I should say. However, it's no chantry, it's just a simple church. They just like to be incredibly gaudy.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, dearest, no problem. She just leans back in this chair and just goes back to reading a book, now wearing glasses.
What book are you reading?
She turns over and shows you the spine, and it says, of Daggers and Prejudice.
Nice.
I honestly thought that you were gonna say something along the lines of the lusty lizard folk mate or something like that.
No. My dear players found Tusk Love in a multi-volume series of books detailing relations between a king and a queen. Written by the queen.
I bought all 7.
Yes, you did. Anyway, so you got that information. What would you like to do? Do you tell your group?
Yeah, I'll ask if anyone wants to go with me.
I'm down.
Where was it?
Really?
Sorry, I was adding my mushrooms.
It's okay.
Just delicately counting them.
Well,
We're
but she said go to church, right?
I have nothing better to do.
Okay, yeah, Abe is just 100% like, ooh, a church. Okay.
So you'll go there. It's rather empty right now, but there's this low-hanging smoke of incense, mostly of a very soft vanilla smell. There's many other small, luminous mushrooms and their fungi growing in this area, also giving off a very faint, pleasant aroma. It's not to the point where it's making your eyes watch. It's very soft and gentle. There's a few pews. This is a rather small building of worship. There's this large little circular glass towards the back, which looks like there's a beam of light going down a bit to the left. However, if you do watch close enough, it's going off the passing of starlight and moonlight, and it's slowly ever so slowly drifting to the small little crescent moon symbol of Alestri. You do find a person praying at the foot of the shrine. They have not noticed you.
Excuse me, I'm
This is
sorry
a
for interrupting.
Her back straightens up from her, and she turns aside, not entirely to look at you, but she's listening.
I was hoping you could tell me if you knew what this rock is.
She stands, and it's once again a very borderline unusually tall drow individual, long hair that grays towards the tips. And she elegantly just drifts over to you and looks down, a lot further down than she was anticipating, and looks at you holding a rock the size of yourself. Raises one eyebrow, and it does look familiar, I have to admit. However, it does escape my understanding.
Well, that sucks.
However, my curiosity is great. I can perform a small ritual to understand and ascertain its nature and its origin if you'd like.
Is it gonna damage it?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
So you hand it over?
With yes, caution.
So she very gently and gracefully grabs it, her claws clinking gently against this crystal. She then drifts over back towards the holy symbol of Alestri. She puts it down on a very soft pillow. So you pull out 4 ivory strips, all laid in orientation to this, with the very tusk-like part pointing towards the crystal itself. You see her pull this little chained pot and put it on a hanging little hook that was nearby to the little stone basin where the shrine is. She fills it with a type of leaf, and you just see her flick her fingers, and a radiant bit of light hits this little bowl, and it begins to smoke. And you see her doing a small prayer, hemming some words that you cannot truly understand. It's a very weird dialect of Elvish. The ritual is going to take 10 minutes to cast, so if you'd like to say anything, say it now.
Good luck.
So you notice that the beam is now even faster moving towards the silver shrine to the moon goddess. Then right as the ritual is about to be done casting, the incense ignites, a lot more smoke, almost mist wreathing around her, and serving this gentle dome of smoke and mist. The moon, or the starlight, then just hits the moon shrine, then it goes just a giant flash of light. The light lingers for 2 minutes, then stops. She gets up, but looks at you with a bit more impunity. Where did you get it?
Found it on our adventures.
The kobolds, wasn't it?
Yes.
This is a guarding stone. This one in particular was stolen from the Nothic Isle.
So it's more than just a really pretty rock that I can put on the center of a table.
When put in a proper construct, it can create a small dome of magical energy, warding the small area around it from certain effects and enemies, or people in general.
What the heck?
Interesting.
I'm sorry, I just noticed what is going on.
So, the gist of it,
It makes a
Is
force
that-
field.
it makes
No.
a force field and kind of wound up
No.
screwing over kobolds.
No,
Yeah,
not,
you did. They knew how to work it.
not that part. Not that part. Cards everywhere.
You did screw over those kobolds, though. They rolled low. They ain't doing so hot.
Oh no. those poor kobolds.
Well, they
Oh,
did
well.
do a pretty bad job of defending the thing.
They set it to block out beasts and monstrosities, not humanoids. They didn't get that force. But anyway, so everyone here has a very vague understanding of the Nothic Isles. However, those in history can roll, the only exception being Abe, who's very unfamiliar with territory around here, other than maybe a few outliers here and there.
I am not proficient in history.
Neither am I.
18! As
Pull
Janek.
out my notes.
He always rolls high. On the,
Always
like,
in roles that I
unlike-
don't know.
backstory.
Then we go to the Nothic Isle area.
You are the Lord Druid.
And I am a sage, so...
Makes
Wait.
sense.
Lord
Janek
Druid.
just, like,
You
looks
are the
at you
Lorax.
every time and just goes like,
I am the Lorax, I speak for the spiders.
oh, God.
So the Nothic Isles are home to a within the Nothic Isles there is a large empire called the Empire of Riven. They are ruled by people known as Mitons, which translates loosely to queens. There are 3 Mitons for each island, 3 islands.
Hmm.
And they always fight and gawk at one another. However, it doesn't get very aggressive.
Just kind of...
It's like, my island's better than your island. No, it's not.
Right.
Your island's shit.
Just kind of bantering.
It's pretty much parlaying, but like, I can kick your ass. No, you can't. Do it, pussy. And they don't do anything.
It's the HRE. Wait, no. That's wrong. Never mind.
So, the Nothic Isles have been known for their dislike towards arcane magic.
Hmm.
However, it's not outrightly illegal. The
Hmm.
term Maleficarum, which is reference to a mage that has not had any formal training or associated with any scholarly group, came from that area. And Maleficarum is a word used to bully magic users into going to school, pretty much.
So, they don't like arcane magic.
They pretty much, as soon as you, like, say a sorcerer, for instance,
Hmm.
they would force them directly into an arcane school of learning, and then you're pretty much stuck there.
Huh.
Those who are not found, but have been hiding their magic, do get sent to trial for such things. And they will get incarcerated, then once again sent into the mage circles of the area.
Interesting.
So magic users such as wizards, sorcerers, artificers, blood mages.
Hmm.
Am I forgetting any? Bards are very, very quickly sent to the mage circles to study, because to them they are incredibly dangerous.
So it's...
very
Eldritch Knights.
They send warriors to learn to become an Eldritch Knights, but usually people who are like magical right off the bat, they get sent there fast and easy.
So it's just a safety thing, more or less.
More of a panic response
Okay.
from them, because there was one major magical incident involving a enchanter who
It's the
beguiled.
college. It's the College of Winterhold.
Think of
Nobody
the-
trusts them.
Think of the Circle of Magic from Dragon Age.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, you can cast magic, we're scared.
The city exploded next door. It's your fault.
Pretty much, but their experience with it is that a person rose to power just because they could beguile people around.
Mm.
And it pretty much sent the empire into ruin economically because they borrowed so much money from neighboring nations that they fell apart. So, the enchanting school of magic is illegal there, with illusion under heavy supervision, divination is very heavily sought after from the Mitans.
That's funny because illusion is usually not like a taboo thing. It's usually always necromancy.
They have no issue with necromancy because they can just.
That's so funny.
No, it's very weird because
Yeah.
the
I mean,
necromancers
it does
are
make
their front
sense.
lines because they can just raise the dead they kill.
It makes sense. It's just really interesting that it's like, yeah, no, necromancy's totally fine here. Just no mind tricks.
Pretty much, it's like no telling us that you're a king.
Hmm.
However,
Oh
a lot of
man,
the divine casters,
bards would be so.
divine casters, often referred to as divine foci or focuses,
Mm,
are not under any of the restrictions that a mage is or Malficarum.
mm, mm.
So a priest, cleric, paladin, druid are met with great respect, while a mage or untaught mage, Malficarum, are met with heavy scrutiny.
Mm, mm.
Which is very ironic because a lot of the Riven gods are not very nice.
Mm.
Their chief deity is a lawful evil grave domain. So you can kind of feel the hypocrisy.
A little bit.
And that's what you gathered from that role.
Okay.
The other type of magic being banned is blood magic.
Okay. That one makes a little bit more. I mean, they both make sense, but that one is yeah.
But that was because of an event that happened many, many years ago.
Mm.
When an individual that you're familiar with, which is the Drow royal family, the Canehurst family,
Mm.
one of the individuals whose name was stricken from the record many years ago, the people do know his name, which was Annalise Canehurst, grew so spiteful at one of his sisters who imprisoned him and incarcerated him, and basically borderline turned him feral from a young age. Used a volatile type of blood magic, mixing demon's blood and angel's blood, creating a very violent chemical reaction which caused a large explosion. An explosion so large in the Underdark that it caused giant massive sinkholes around the High Elven lands,
Mm.
causing a little bit of a conflict between the two.
Yeah.
And they got really scared and like, nope, that's illegal now.
Yeah.
They said this was once possessed by a baroness and
Mm.
was used to keep magic users at bay.
Well, obviously it doesn't work that well anymore.
The kobolds who possessed it used it only to keep beasts and monsters away. Things that go bump in the night. But as it is the month of Rotfall, it is always night, and things always go above.
Mm.
So we keep rock and see what happens.
If you wish, I have no real interest in it.
Mm.
Pretty shiny rock.
Moori is chanting with her.
Shiny rock, shiny rock.
We
Your
could
mom is
also
also chanting with you.
we could also use it in the same way the kobolds did if we figure out how to.
We could. Or it could also be in the middle of our dining table if we ever get one.
Why not both?
Are you,
Hell
guys,
yeah.
are you guys out of the church by now?
Sure.
Okay.
Hold on. One comment to the lady.
Okay.
You are very pretty.
Thank you. You're rather adorable, and she goes back to her prayers.
Since I'm already here,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and pray to the Moon Maiden.
Are you going to attune her?
You know what? Sure, but I'm not actually going to cast the thing.
So you're not going to use the feature.
I'm not going to use the feature, but I am going to attune.
Okay, so you start performing the ritual, which is rather odd. You do attract the interesting looks of both priestesses. So they don't do much because they just assume that you're praying to her. And like, oh, okay, everyone has their own way of doing something. The shrine once again illuminates, the beam once again curving back to it. The beam of moonlight hits your prayer mat, and the symbol then begins to become woven into it. Now you can ask the Moonweaver new yes or no questions.
I have a Ouija board.
You pretty much borderline do. You can ask yes or no questions when you're out traveling, or you can ask one very complicated question while at a church or place of worship.
Okay, now I'm actually gonna pray, and then I'm going to pack up and leave.
Okay. They're still looking at you, however, they're trying to make it subtle, but it's not working.
I'm just picturing when he was doing the ritual, he's just doing the Macarena. but like,
All right, then.
completely stone-faced, serious.
They are now looking at both of you like, interesting. To each their own.
Just stone-faced, serious Macarena, but really, really sped up.
Aggressive Macarenaing intensifies. So now you go back up to the starlit sky. What would you like to do?
Janek is going to head off, and he's going to mention this to the rest of the party before he goes, so that you guys know where he's going. He's going to go off to the grocery store again.
Okay. Easy enough, not too far away.
I ask him, didn't you go to buy supplies? Is it yesterday?
Yeah, but I didn't check to see if they have any cheese.
You didn't check to see if they had cheese?
Yeah, I wanted to see if they have any cheese.
Why didn't you check to see if they had cheese? You know you love cheese.
I forgot. I got mushroom, and then I just hold the bag, and there's just a bunch of mushrooms.
You should put like cheese on the back of your hand just to make sure you buy cheese.
So you go back to the store, and you ask for cheese. The shopkeeper looks at you a bit weird and goes to the back, and he produces a very odd dumpling-shaped cheese.
Huh. Is it safe to eat?
Yes, this one's relatively good at staying preserved. It's called Willow Mother. Willow Mother.
How much?
For all of it, or?
How much is he holding?
He's holding the equivalent of like half a wheel of cheese.
And Janek just goes, and he just shakes his head up and down.
Crackhead mouse activated. He said it's just a gold.
He just pulls out a gold, puts it on the counter.
He just hands you it.
So Janek comes back to you guys now, and he's just got this big half a wheel of cheese.
See, that's more like it.
He hasn't put it away, he's just holding it.
It's about 3 pounds, and it will stay fresh for about a month.
Okay. Let me see. And he's just going to start pulling pieces off and eating it. Did you say it was Willow Mother?
Yeah, Willow Mother cheese. Very pale white. However, as soon as you take a bite, its flavor is strong. It's stronger than sharp cheddar.
He like the strong.
Mouse nibbling intensifies.
I open up my bag and I take out a piece of cheese that I have been carrying around.
What kind of cheese is it?
Do you ask me?
No, he just kind of glances at it. What does it look like, I should say?
Zach, I don't know how it would look.
It's this rather oddly colored cheese. It's very dingy green. However, it's not because of mold, decay, some form of fermentation. This is just how it's naturally made. It's very hard to ascertain what animal it may have come from.
Huh.
It is in fact cheese, so you can definitely smell it from there. It's a very, very musky cheese.
Okay. Well,
It's smelly.
Did that
Not-
cheese die?
Janek is intrigued, but he is busy eating his cheese. He already has.
Are you gonna eat all of it?
He's not. He's eating it slowly, but he's
I'm-
he's just eating it.
I'm going to offer a bit of cheese to everybody.
That's okay. I got my own.
I actually want to try it.
Do you take a bite?
Yeah, I'm gonna regret my decision.
It's actually rather soft, and it's very reminiscent of mozzarella in flavor. However, it has this very subtle and pungent aftertaste. It lingers in your mouth for a bit. You're pretty much like, oh, okay, it's pretty okay. It's not too bad. Then you get like this weird, like a very bitter aftertaste. You go, oh, that's interesting.
Okay, I didn't die, so we're good.
Is it like blue cheese
Mm,
in terms of look? Because you said it was spotted.
almost, but it's not as like squishy.
Hmm.
It's still pretty soft though. It would be pretty easy to cut without issue.
You said it isn't from mold, though. That's interesting.
Do you take a nibble?
I heard there was green
Mm,
cheese being
As you're a
eaten.
connoisseur of cheese. and
he
cheese
takes a
products,
little bit.
You take a little nibble. You once again taste that very subtle mozzarella taste, and you get this very bitter and lingering aftertaste. You recognize that this is camel cheese.
Huh. I mean, it's cheese. It's cheese.
So how's
Janek.
the cheese?
Janek does not, what's, oh, sorry. I'm trying to say something and then my brain just flatlined.
Happens to the best of us.
Janek does not discriminate against different kinds of cheese.
So you're not a cheesus.
Nope.
Oh, come now. That joke
Yep.
was rather cheesy.
I thought it was a Gouda one.
Ah!
Oh?
Janek just goes in that corner.
Pun battle, pun battle. Fight.
So are there any interesting animals around?
You do see
The moth.
that too.
Yes.
No.
My lovely little baby.
17 more moths just hovering around us.
They're all just swarming Mawiri.
I will get a fly swatter.
They're just like, friend.
Pretty much. But anyways.
Just steals them all from the god. No, I'm the lady of moths.
The god.
So if you look around and beyond the city, you do see but there are little animal pens where you see large slug-esque creatures being herded. You see some that look akin to a centipede that walk on 4 legs. You see a few other here and there. You see like one that looks like a giant cricket.
So there's just a whole bunch of slugs.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna approach one.
Okay, easy enough. It's about a 15-ish minute walk.
I'm just gonna look at it and see what it does.
Just stare at it.
I'm just observing.
So do you go up to one of the slug-like creatures?
Yeah.
You approach, and they slowly turn and make this weird billowing sound. They kind of slowly make their way to you.
Watch out! They're gonna eat you! Janek says sarcastically.
I'm gonna give them a piece of food somehow. I don't know what they'll like.
You just pull out some rations, which it's pretty much just dried meat in it.
It's a pemmican, right?
And it approaches you finally after so long. For another 10 minutes.
I'm just gonna walk up to it. Need it.
Okay, so you do as such, and it nibbles at it. It makes that weird little bellowing sound again, then its head slightly extends and bonks you.
Aw, you're cute. Okay, bye, little guy.
Surprised you didn't try to tame it.
Nah.
This is someone else's farm animal.
Steal their cow.
No. Why would I do that?
Oh, let me find a picture of what you just, like, interacted with.
You said it was like a giant slug, right?
It's a very giant... I'll send a picture right now. It's a very interesting looking creature. Those who have played Skyrim have seen this.
Now I'm really confused because I actually don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about in Solstheim?
Nope. It's not an etch.
Not just fly.
This is so freaking cute.
Oh! What were those called?
Shell bugs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It kind of looks like
It's
the
like
god
weird.
bug from Starship Troopers.
These things are very gentle, and they're pretty much just herded for their chitin, and sometimes they're meat.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cow.
It's kind of like a big bug cow.
The Drow like them.
I think in Morrowind they actually were farmed for their eggs, or am I thinking of something else? I don't remember.
Something else. The Quarma were used for their eggs.
Yeah, the
Quarma, I think, right?
Yeah, my mouth hurts. It's hard for me to make word.
I do feel.
So what do you guys want to do?
Nah, Janek is just like,
Should we get a game plan going, or should we go further?
I'm kind of curious about what the wildlife is like around here.
You can go and investigate if you'd like.
Me too.
Mm,
I would like to do so as well, if that's okay.
well, let's all go together so that we can stick together and not get lost separately. Hmm.
Can I explore the people here?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's
Pretty
fine.
much, it's just primarily Drow and has some half-elves sprinkled in here and there.
Well, we're an odd bunch.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm used to that. It's just rat. Hey, it's a guar. I love those things.
It's okay. I'm extremely short, so it's kind of
The
real.
gore make me happy.
Look at his face.
I'm a literal devil woman, so.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We're a demon, not a devil.
Either way, people shut shops for me.
That sucks.
Yeah. But I learned around it. Seduction's really effective.
Okay, so instead of horses around here, you see... these. This is the common mount of the Drow. On the surface, at least. And there
Do I
are...
have any? Do I know what this thing is?
If you'd like to roll nature, then you may.
Yes, please. Yes. Okay, I will do that.
Okay, you know these as an oxen beetle. You've only seen some in the desert, as they are native there, or any area that tends to be very silt or sandy. They are beasts of burden, however, they can be used as a very fast mount.
Excuse me.
Can I try to tame one?
You can just buy one.
I was gonna say,
These are just horses.
they seem to be kind of a domesticated animal. Well,
Yeah.
insect.
There's also a stable here that you can just go to. It's on the other side of town when you're leaving.
I just kind of mentioned it to them. Oh yeah, I've seen this in the desert a couple times. They're beasts of burden or just fast. If you want to ride them.
Hmm.
Can I look for a runt? That's going to be small.
Do you want the pony variant? They're the size of like
Oh my god.
they're the size of like a chihuahua.
I mean,
Do you want it?
You even fit on a chihuahua.
I'm not going to ride it. It's going to be my pet.
Oh god.
I thought you were gonna want to get one that was like the actual size of a pony, because your character's small. So if you had one that was like the size of a big dog, it'd be fine. But yeah, a Chihuahua.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
It would
10 gold.
It would creep Marie out.
You buy it?
Yeah.
Okay, so they give you a leash. What?
Do I recall what they eat?
They're carnivorous.
Okay.
They
Sorry.
they are predators of chase, so they'll actually run down their prey.
Oh, it's a yipping chihuahua at the ankles of predator or prey.
Pretty much. Yours is this very dull gray and black. And it's skittering around you all around. Oh, it's gonna be very interesting if you don't train this creature.
I just kind of mentioned to her.
You can just Okay.
chases down its prey. So
You just roll like an animal handling check and see where it goes from there.
Can I help her with it?
Okay.
Yep, you now have advantage on your animal handling check.
Yay.
Because Janek just sees small bug. Is like, oh. Okay, I'll help you.
Okay, so it's just advantage.
Abe is just like, these things chase camels.
The way
So,
that hurt
so
my
you have
brain.
got an 18, which is the highest. It won't. It's now accustomed to your presence. However, you're not sure what would happen if you were to let go of the leash.
I want to
It's-
look at the leash.
It really is just like a chihuahua.
Oh god, it just goes after the moth.
It does.
Yes.
It's like charging to you now, Muiri.
How
Your
much
moth
like
takes flight.
how much like a spider does it look?
It has 6 legs and it has 2 very sharp pincers on its face. And
It's
it's beelining its way to you.
it's
How
like
do I
an.
touch the leash?
It almost looks like an orb, right?
Yeah. Helena, make an athletics.
I was actually. Can I try to as well?
Okay.
She's
Both make
prepping a
athletic check.
firebolt.
Okay. Goodbye, Pet.
14.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so Helena, you're beelining it to your bum rushing this little bug. And it stops, and you trip over it, and then it crawls over you. However, as it's crawling over Helena, it gets snagged on the hair, and Jonik uses this moment to then grab it by its abdomen and just hold it there, so it can't really skitter or bite or anything.
It's just an orb, and I'm just holding it with its legs flailing around.
Yep, and it's like trying to. Oh, you hear scream! Scream!
Can I try to calm it down?
Abe,
Animal handling.
Can someone help?
I will.
Advantage.
Because I am not trained in animal handling.
I am.
13.
It's not wriggling, now it's just trying to get to be put down.
Okay, grab the leash. Is the leash still on it?
Yep, never got taken off. It was just dragging behind it.
Please grab the leash. Please grab the leash.
I'll grab the leash.
Okay, and then he just puts it down.
Okay, so it's now not running. It's calmed down. The moth goes back to Muiri's head.
Bad Kadachi, bad.
Kadachi.
Roll an animal handling check again.
Can I help her with that?
Yep, you're trying to discipline your animal not to do a certain behavior. Nat 1, nat 1, nat 1.
Wouldn't she have to do it twice? If she does it twice.
Ooh, legendary failure. Oh,
Okay.
so it's definitely not. It doesn't seem it's gonna beeline to Muiri now. Maybe sea lion.
It better be prepared for a fire line if it does that.
Fun fact: these things are resistant to fire.
Oh god.
Maybe I should be the one training the thing and then trying to just get it to listen to her. But like I'm the one doing it because I have a +2, not a -1.
Ooh,
I just realized that.
Yeah, let's do that.
co
You're
parenting.
now the spider's parents.
and then you never asked me with a +3.
Oh god.
The actual proficient one.
I'm not proficient in it. I just have a good wisdom.
You're just watching this all go down, trying not to laugh.
You know, I was getting ready to, if it got too close to Mawiri, cast Entangle.
Oh, beautiful.
And then the entangle just causes Murray to trip over.
That
Okay.
one, she just loses an eye into its pincers.
I'll keep a note.
Keep a note.
That's incredibly ominous.
Very ominous.
Good.
Okay.
Scary.
So after some bug wrangling, what would you like to do?
I would still like to go exploring,
Okay.
see the wildlife that
Roll.
surrounds this area.
Roll nature check.
Does anyone want to come with?
I will.
I'm curious. Can I go out a ways and try to forage for berries and whatnot? Just whatever.
Okay, roll a nature, then a survival check for you.
Can I use my wanderer trait?
Which
Where-
is... Is that part of the Outlander thing?
Yep.
Google.
Outlander. I I think I'm okay. I'm gonna say that Janek he's gonna go looking and he's gonna take the other two with him. You guys want to come with, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. If
No, yeah, it's easy enough. Yeah, you can do that.
if we come across anything that I think might be dangerous, I'm gonna try to avoid it, but just kind of make note of it. Otherwise, if we come across anything that seems more like peaceful, I'd like to actually look at it more carefully. Let's see. Nature. Do I get advantage on this from them helping me, or what's going on?
Yeah, you do, if they're helping.
Okay.
And Abe, what you mostly find are very hardy nuts and a few fish from a pond. The fish are very odd. As
That's the
they're
wrong one. I misclicked.
Harry,
Let's see.
This
Nature
looking
and nature.
red.
I got a 16.
Okay, so you look around, going through the very weird fungal forest they have surrounding the area, and trudging through some of this very soft silt ground. And you're very confused. You go through this very bamboo-looking forest, and you're just
Bamboo.
I was trying not
like,
to
wait,
yawn
that doesn't
to
make any
it,
sense.
that
This
hook.
doesn't grow here. And then you just kind of walk, and then you're in shade for a minute. And you're like, why is there shade? This is just bamboo. Then you look up.
Ooh.
Then you hear this very weird rumbling echo. You see the bamboo, or what you thought was bamboo legs, raise up.
Ooh.
Then slowly drop into silt near you. It's just ever so slowly walking. Yeah. This thing's about 20-ish feet tall. It's just gently just roaming along.
Huh.
Just making weird silt strider noises, just like, yep, I'm here, I'm chilling.
And it's just kind of going.
Yep, just ever so slowly.
Well, that's interesting.
Not very fast either. It's pretty much just vibing.
Yep. What's this? Is it the same kind of ash? Not ashy, but silt terrain everywhere.
Yep. A little bit soft now, but still the same. It's not to the point where it's going to impede you.
Well, you guys want to look some more for some more stuff?
Sure. I'll look for it.
Okay.
Okay, that was interesting though. So, what? I'm assuming I don't actually know what those are called.
No.
It's just a thing.
It's a very large insectoid creature that you just come across.
Big, tall thing.
Are
that's
there-
slowly walking?
Any type of ruins or anything?
Roll perception, see what you find, or investigation, your choice.
Do you want me to do it, or okay.
So you're looking out. You're looking off to the distance where the fungal forest starts to clash with the actual forest that you guys came from. And you can swear that you see something that doesn't look like a tree or a mushroom just jutting out of it, but you're not sure what it is.
I'm gonna go look and see what.
You guys follow her?
Yeah, just keep it together.
Okay,
Sure.
so you're traveling. The mushrooms become denser and denser. You hear a few skittering insects here and there, however, they don't pay much mind. You see a large cricket-like creature that kind of jumps over you guys. The moth gets kind of startled. The ox beetle. Helena, roll a strength check.
Hold on, it's giving me a hard time.
No problem.
Oh,
Okay, the ox beetle beats you with a 21.
Ooh,
Natural 20 plus 1. And you lose grip of the leash as it now is chasing after the cockroach, the cricket. It's now going to roll an attack. Another natural 20. Ooh. Ooh.
Janek is just kind of
Dirty.
watching.
Oh. Ouch. Good thing that cricket only had like 5 health. You see it charge. You see the dust and silt being kicked up by it as the ground here is a bit more dry and very much more akin to clay. And with the very sharp tusks that it has at the front of its face, you see it. It looks like the head of this creature is meant for hitting stuff and blunt force. So it's pretty thick. It looks pretty strong. And your ox beetle punctures it like it's just nothing. And that cricket falls limp.
oh, poor cricket.
And now it slowly comes back to you, dragging it in front of it. Now
It's a
munching
cat.
on it.
It's a cat.
Mind you, for reference, your ox beetle is the size of like a large chihuahua. What it killed is the size of like a medium dog, like a cocker spaniel.
Oh God.
Holy shit.
Huh.
I guess if it goes home, better hide your spiders.
Yeah. Oof. Well,
I think I might have made a mistake.
it'll be fine. Just make sure to feed it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You guys
Maybe-
continue on?
Maybe you should take that with so it has something to eat.
Yeah, I'll just sling it over my shoulder.
It's still eating it. It's like burrowing its way through its skull.
You know what?
I'm
Just
gonna
let it-
pick up both it and it.
Oh, okay.
Just carry them both as we're walking.
Okay, not too hard for a barbarian strong like yourself. So you're traveling a bit further. Now you're at the point where once again this begins to clash. And you do see a very unusually structure. It's this very large black tower. Looks pretty ominous, however, as you approach it, it seems to get larger than what it was at the distance. Very confusingly.
What does it look like?
Think of the tower in front of the Greybeard building, however, it's just that. But a bit of it's dilapidated, falling apart.
Do I recognize it from any of my sagely studying?
Are you proficient in history?
Yes.
You may roll.
Steven.
Do not recall or remember anything of sort of design anywhere.
Do I see an entrance?
Do you look around?
Yes.
There appears to have been one, however, it has now been covered in with some rock.
Can I just... Does anyone have a hammer?
What is the state of the soil around the object?
So this is pretty much where the normal forest ground meets the silt. This is where it starts to shift. So it's a bit more of a softer soil mixed with just hard dirt.
Okay. You said that there's rocks covering the entrance because I'm assuming because they like fallen and collapse onto the entrance.
Yep.
Can I try to use mold earth to dig out the earth from underneath them so that they fall inward? Like further down?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
Easy enough to do.
Just kind of moving the dirt and silt out of the cave, and it's like a not a cave, but it's like a building, right?
Yep.
Trying to clear the rubble by just kind of making holes that it can fall into, and then smoothing out over the rocks so that it's a little bit easier to walk across.
Not incredibly hard to do. You wave your hand and the land does as such. I mean, as soon as that is done, the air rushes into the dilapidated tower and a bit of it rushes out, and you get this very strong stench of decay and rot.
That's a not good smell.
This might be a crypt. Or something like that.
I mean...
Maybe we should find Abe before we go exploring this.
The plus side, we don't have to worry about probably offending anyone, because, you know, it's dilapidated and they're probably dead anyway.
I would like to try and remember... You know what? I'm going to start trying to draw a map. Oh, Abe is back.
Hello.
I'm going to start trying to draw a rough map of where we've gone to where we are now so that we can get back here a little bit more easily.
Okay, make an intelligence check.
Can somebody help me with this? I'm not particularly good at map making.
Sure.
Okay. And we're just cooperatively making a map.
Do it.
Okay.
Should
You
I roll
render
again?
if you want to, see if you get any higher.
Oh no!
Where?
I lost
You
one.
render a perfect rendition of where the path you took from the moment you left town to here.
Just using any landmarks that I might have found or seen.
Okay, easy enough. you actually get it to the point where you map the exact trail you took. And you're incredibly confident in your ability to make this map.
Okay. And now that I have done this, I'm going to roll it up and put it in one of my bags.
Okay, easy enough.
Quill and ink and some paper is really coming in use.
Don't they always?
And then now let's head back, try and find Abe, and we can come back here and explore it.
Okay, not too hard to find. So it takes about an hour of finding him, and you find him a bit further outside in the southern end of town. He's at a pond, and you see him right at the very edge of it, looking at it with his hand out, just ever so still. And snatch, and you see him grab a fish.
Nice cat.
That is your
He's just
income, by the way.
laughing.
That is my what?
That's your third fish that you've caught.
What kind of a fish is it?
Have you ever seen the fish from like the Devonian period where they're kind of bony?
Yes.
Do you mean just a codfish?
Like think of
But
like this. It's kind of like the one big angry-looking fish that had the skull face, but it's smaller.
Dunkleosteros.
That's the bitch.
You should try to catch a lobster.
Would you like to attempt to capture lobster?
I mean, do I think that there are lobsters in this lake?
From what you can gather, you would guess there is small crawfish.
Jenek,
There are not the lobsters, but there are crawfish.
Janek is
Okay,
just
here's the
gonna.
challenge.
Are you gonna
Oh,
go
that big
fishing
bony
against
thing.
him?
Okay, I know that fish.
Can I try to catch some crawfish?
Yeah, roll a survival or nature check.
I am so sorry. My cat found a Gatorade bottle and is going to town on it.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was pink for a bit.
No.
You thought it was what?
It was one of their dogs.
So I have a dog. She's a lab pit mix, and her favorite toy is Listerine bottles.
And Nylabones, don't forget those.
Oh, you mean death bones?
Yup.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a survival check now.
Okay.
How'd I do?
Okay, so you remember that they tend to go on the very bottom of the murky parts of lakes and ponds. So like maybe you could run.
Christ, Silas.
So you run your hand along the pond bed, feeling for them. And you're like, oh wait, this is a weird feeling rock. Wait a minute, why is the rock moving? And simultaneously, you feel all 5 of your fingers get pinched. And you scream out in pain as you lift your hand up, flailing it about, and you have 5 separate crawfish. And you take 1 point of piercing damage.
Oh,
They did not roll well.
I just go, ow, as I freaking just produce 5 of them.
Can I try to take them off?
It's not too hard, especially with your strength. So now you have 5 profit. Oh wait, Dort, did you see the new Unearthed Arcana feats they released? You should get the chef.
Wait a second, that's a feat?
They released a new Unearthed Arcana with like 16 new feats. And one of them is Chef, where you can spend like I think a short rest preparing a meal, which gives you like 1d8 temporary hit points.
Be Gordon Ramsay.
I was already running something similar to that in my campaign, and it wasn't a feat. It was literally just, do you have chef's utensils? Are you proficient with them? If yes, then you can do this. Yeah, I don't know why Mikey hasn't been doing it.
Yeah.
There's also a new feat within that one too, where you can get a Eldritch Invocation regardless of class, where you can get a meta magic feature regardless of class, as long as you can cast magic, and a few other ones that are really weird. My one panicked instinct when a wizard can get Quickened Fireball or Twin Fireball.
I thought you could only get twin spells that are targeted.
Can you?
I honestly don't remember. That is just horrible thought that I had.
I know that you can quicken a fireball to make it a bonus action.
Still, that would cost me a little
Oh
bit of panic.
god. Where was that with Viscera?
You didn't go into sorcery, and the feats didn't release in time.
Darn!
Quickened fireball to do a bonus action fireball, and then you can fire bolt, twinning it to attack 2 different targets.
I guess the fuck 'em up combo.
I wonder if
After that whole ordeal, do you lead Abe back to the said dilapidated tower?
yes.
Okay, so you go back, and you're about to go around to the forest where the entrance is, and you're halfway there, so you're facing the one end of the tower before you turn, and you hear the tearing of flesh. And a few growls and good old grunts.
Stealth.
Roll me that stealth check then. You think you're hidden?
I was just gonna cautiously approach it because she don't know any better.
Okay. So you're cautiously approaching. What is that? Is everyone else making a stealth check, or are you just...
I was thinking of wild shaping.
Okay, what do you wild shape into?
You know... Hold on, I need to go check this.
She got a 21 stealth. You just see... You don't even see the infant woman anymore. She's just gone.
Guys? I just tried to look up...
She pulled a Janik.
I just tried to look up something.
What?
Apparently Roll20 is currently undergoing scheduled maintenance.
Oof.
But we're on Roll20.
Don't leave then.
Yeah, don't leave. That's what I was trying to say. 9 minutes ago. It just happened. So yeah, don't leave. Hopefully it doesn't crash.
Okay. Oh.
Well, I was gonna go look up to see if the thing that hold on.
I don't think I'm going to with stealth right away. I think I'm going to try to figure out what the hell that is first, if it's natural or not.
Roll a religion check.
We heard the tearing of flesh and grubble.
Oh my god. Feral sound.
You do not know what it's from.
Oh god.
It's an angel fart.
Nope, it's just some weird beast that you've never heard before.
Just unknown.
You're like, maybe it's a knoll. No? Is that?
Okay. I think that I was thinking, honest, I gotta be real. I was thinking of turning into a giant wolf spider, but then I immediately went, wait. That's gonna make who is it that's afraid of the Muiri?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, she's gonna immediately scream if I turn into a giant wolf spider right next to her.
Only
And
if
then
she
I would-
sees you.
Now, what about the dire? What was the dire wolf? I'm trying to remember if dire wolf is even worth turning into for stealth. I think I might even have a better stealth roll than them, just normally.
You're trained in stealth. If you're a dire wolf, I think you get something like a +5 or something like that.
Okay, the thing is that I get a +5 anyway. That's what I get for stealth.
So it doesn't matter.
It looks like it's a +4 actually. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the stealth roll.
Okay.
He has Is it like slightly dark, or is it getting dark at all?
You're in. It's pretty much Rotfall, so it is eternally dark for this entire month.
I am always stealthy because of my thing, because I have dark fur and all that. Heck
Roll for
yeah,
your- Roll for your stealth check because you have to beat something's perception.
12.
You beat it.
I am the sneaky.
So what are you doing, Abe? Are you gonna wild shape, or are you just gonna try to inspect it?
Question.
Yes.
My passive perception is 18. Do I see anything passively?
Let me check something. My notes.
Wow.
Yes, you would.
Do you have a feet?
No.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot because you're the variant human.
Oh,
So you get to the corner of the building where you are about to turn to look to where the archway is to the entrance, and right outside you see a pale clawed hand that's been severed. You see what looks to be a bit of viscera or something, some organ that's been ripped, and you see a bunch of blood, and you just smell this foul stench around everyone.
Can I attempt another religion roll?
With this new information, yes.
Watch it be the same result. Slightly better.
You think it's some form of undead, but you're not entirely sure what.
can I? Where? So wait, what is the positioning of us? Like,
So
am
right now you're all one bit forward, so you're now all towards the doorway, so you can now see this severed clawed hand and this little chunk of meat or viscera.
I'm gonna
Can-
go forward.
I roll for? Can I roll for nature?
Sure, the information you'd get would be different, though.
Right.
Oh, okay. So, this creature,
Duality!
this creature is undead as you get close enough to see the other side of the severed arm and you see a bit of rot taking place. However, the meat is still supple, ironically, which is very odd. The meat's still viable, still can flex, contract, relax, and it'll deal some pretty decent damage, so this thing's gonna stay together no matter what. And you gather it's a bit stronger undead, something that can do a bit of real damage. And when you get near the arm, the smell is just wretched. And you hear flesh being torn. You look through the doorway,
It's a zombie.
and there's this bit of pale red light so it's easier to see. You see the side of a dark elf male's face. His hands tattered, broken, fingers are bent in the wrong way. The ring finger on the hand that you see, which is the left, has been bitten away and looks to be carved into a claw. When you move close, you hear his neck snap, and it turns. And you hear this weird reverse hiss as if he's inhaling, and all you see for just a brief moment are these two intensely red-hot eyes.
I'm gonna, while still in stealth, back up.
Can Mawiri look in?
Yeah, now you're in a position right now, you're kind of like behind a bush, and you just see this drow individual. You see you think that he's walking on all fours, but when he comes out of the doorway into the starlight, he's actually walking with his stomach facing the air and his neck just twisted in such a way where he can look forward a lot easier instead of it being upside down. All you hear is as it's just a bit of like this weird blood mist comes out of it.
You do not look okay.
Do you see that?
Yes.
I'm gonna prepare
In
to
Elves.
cast. Oh shit!
The body
was-
then cracks and shifts to where the legs are. It's kind of like his body's in a corkscrew, and then he stands up and his body uncorkscrews pretty violently. Everyone now gets a much better look, and as he turns, there's a gouge from one side of on his right side of his face, from the end of the mouth all the way up to the ear, and it reveals this giant. You can see the transition from the teeth from going to shovel-like to very sharp and jagged, like a very predatory-esque thing. And he is tattered.
I'm
And he
gonna.
just sniffs the air around where he hears the voice coming from. He's in a
gonna.
very defensive stance.
Ditto.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Just
cast
gonna-
Entangle on it.
I'm just gonna come out of stealth and wave at it.
I'm gonna go up and try to talk to it.
What language are you speaking?
Common, because that's all I know.
So
But
before Jonna gets a spell off, you approach it. It gets very low to your level.
If she's approaching it, I'm not gonna cast it immediately. I'm gonna
You
wait.
actually hear some of its spine bend and snap to almost match your height. And it goes back to being really... So this figure is exactly 7 feet tall from what you can guess, and it's just wearing tattered, blood-smeared robes. Each finger has a sharpened claw. Some of them are actually missing fingertips to where bone is exposed, to where it looks like it's been gnawed to a claw.
is there a way that I can show that I'm trying to help it and show wound dressings? That's what I have.
So you approach it holding a wound dressing, and you just see it he gets very close to your face, and you can just smell that same stench coming off of his mouth. And you now can see the very much half-dead ghoul body in the dilapidated tower that looks partially eaten. And he just... Who here speaks Undercommon?
Me?
So you are within earshot. Friend? And you hear the tone shift, and it's kind of this weird crackly. It's like, you work for her, don't you? And you actually hear the bone snap and the claws elongate. And it sniffs you a bit more. It's like, no. And the claws then retract.
Can I ask my moth if it can tell if it's how intelligent it is?
The moth's going to make a probe check.
Oh no.
And it says he's rather unintelligent. The moth says he's bordering ferality. He's pretty much feral.
I'm gonna try to ask it if it needs help.
It doesn't understand you. It just kind of tilts his head to one side, and you can see that toothy side a bit easy.
Try it in orchid?
Tilts his head the other way.
Halfling?
Infernal?
And it looks at you now out of stealth. And it goes up to all fours again, but now it's kind of doing like a very weird, awkwardly like side to side walk, and it gets really close to you, and it like circles around you, sniffs you. You actually see it reach for your tail for a minute.
Please don't.
Do you move away from it?
I just ask it, please do not touch me in Infernal.
It doesn't understand you, so it proceeds with touching it. Then it feels you actually. The grasp is pretty gentle, but for a minute you can swear that you can feel the blood begin to flush into your tail.
Ah, fun.
Make a strength saving throw.
Oh god, no.
And you better pray that you roll high right now. Oh, you do not. You got a 29.
Oh no.
So he pretty much forces you to the ground.
Okay.
So you see the very stiff tail. So Muri, you don't feel pain during whatsoever, and he just snaps it several times. You see him bite into his wrist and take a chunk off. Blood
Janek.
erupts from his hands, and then he just casts Greater Restoration.
What the fuck?
Pretty much blood swirls, it punctures into your tail, and then just realigns and heals the bones. And then he lets you go.
Janek is just having a fucking panic attack in his bush. He's just like,
Everybody understand it.
You can just
As you're
smell like
hyperventilating.
urine.
I honestly want to just mention something.
What?
Abe was not in stealth at all this entire time and has just been kind of standing there quietly. So, have I just been doing the Drex thing where I'm just standing in front of the door?
Yes.
You got it. You want to know what he got in perception? A 4.
Hmm.
You got a 4. He did not see you. So you all see her tail now go slack, and it can be, and she's actually kind of moving it side to side now freely.
I hope you know that she's like doing that weird thing that dogs do where they go running around in circles. She's literally chasing her tail.
And he's now lapping at his wrist, doing like a dog would. It's now profusely bleeding.
I'm gonna try to dress the wound.
So you take his hand from him, and he just kind of like looks at you and almost kind of growls, but he sees you tending to his bandages, and he's just tilting his head. Amusingly confused as he just touches the wound and it heals.
Well, that's handy.
So he hears you hyperventilating, and you just hear, you only see his neck snap 180 degrees around.
Not okay.
His arms and bend in a natural way as if he's trying to grab something, and he just hisses.
He says, Janek, in Undercommon, says, friend.
So you see him fade into this little low mist that's beginning to gather on the ground. No one knows where he went. It's almost as if he became part of it. Then you feel something gently touch your shoulder.
And then Janek just goes,
Then you see him, the bright red, fiery eyes staring back at you. He pulls back your hood and smells you. You see a look of confusion and thought upon him. And he just says, as he's licking the blood off, like from his previous meal, and from what he did to himself.
I love Unley so much.
You smell of the deep, but you are not of the deep.
I love
and Janek is just kind of like, yep.
So he grabs you by the scruff of your cloak and lifts you up to his level. You see the much more damaged hand where actually the ring finger, or not the ring, the pinky finger is pretty much at a 90-degree angle. and the fingers bend backwards for a minute as a spine of coagulated and almost frozen blood comes forward. It ever so gently nicks your nose. That giant blood spine then slowly goes into the hand and he just licks that drop of blood that he got from you off.
That wording.
And he now responds in this very gruff voice in common. That should solve some issues, and he just very inelegantly puts you down.
Oh yeah, you could talk.
Now I can.
Are you okay? You look like you're hurting.
Nothing that I haven't lived with for many years before.
You probably shouldn't live with it. I can try to help. I can try to heal, but I'm not very good.
I'll
I
live.
only have.
Can I
Are you sure?
Yes.
roll religion again to try to figure out what the hell this thing is?
The man you're talking to?
Yes.
So it just
Go
looks like a.
ahead. Go
Does it
ahead,
look
I'll
like-
allow this.
And all of the hullabaloo that happened along with it.
Go ahead, this will get interesting if you roll decently enough. So you do get information that is accurate.
Excuse me 1 second. I am going to just check something. What the fuck?
You are familiar with the magic he did cast. It is indeed blood magic. Blood magic to your peoples is a very corrupted and corrupting thing. From your perspective, the stuff that created that black ichor and the hollow that you are encountering right now is blood magic. You
Okay.
also recognize this, Jonic, as blood magic.
Yep.
However, it's not the stuff you've encountered before. This seems much more harsher. The magical spells he seems to cast are comparable to a dog becoming unchained for a minute.
Right.
The energy, unfocused, but powerful.
Can Jack do a religion check?
Actually, you can do a religion or history check at advantage.
I'm gonna do history.
Can I ask him his
16.
I'm gonna thank him.
Okay, so the history check. For a moment, beneath the tattered robes and dress, you actually make out a symbol. It's a vampiric skull with two droplets coming down. You recognize the symbol very vividly, and there is a wave of panic running down. This is the insignia of the royal family of the Vilebloods, also known as the Canehursts. What scares you more is that you don't recognize him, meaning that he's a younger generation of Canehursts known for their savagery and brutality, as opposed to the older generation known for their civility, diplomacy, and kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And what you hear next scares you much, much further. As he turns and says, Oneleus, the person who created that giant, if I had to compare it to anything, atomic bomb in the Underdark.
What?
Nice to meet you. I'm Helena.
He just kind of grunts and just turns back to the mouse.
Wait, what is it he said exactly?
He said his name is Oneleus, and he's wearing the royal symbol, which is the insignia of Canehurst. He's Oneleus Canehurst, the person who set up the concoction of angels and demons' blood that caused massive sinkholes all throughout the High Elven.
Oh. And Janik is just like putting his hands on his face. He's just like, oh, oh no.
From that history check, you also know that this person was stricken from the records, meaning that every trace of his name, history, birth has been pretty much redacted from all of recorded history in the Drow. It's pretty much, he pretty much got disowned. However, it was not by the behest of his mother, it was by the behest of his sister who overthrew his mother. He was known for his insane aptitude towards blood magic and his insane aptitude towards cruelty towards those who would pretty much do anything to him. It is rumored that he himself killed half of the royal guards single-handedly in one fell swoop. He was known for such acts such as cannibalism, kidnapping, necromancy, and stuff that is really cursed that borders around lichdom. Or else what you've heard and read. However, he was not known to be cruel from the conflicting stories you've heard from common folk.
Okay.
Just macabre.
So
Scary.
he's dealing with messed up stuff, but he's not horrible.
And
He's-
plus with that
I don't
history
know.
check, because you did roll high enough, you would know that he did make a school of blood magic known as the Transfusion of Spite, which focuses on ripping and rending your own body to create spikes, weapons out of yourself to defeat the enemy. It is known for its brutality and damage to the physical self.
Yeah. Okay.
He also was known for making the spell Martyr's Blade, which twists your arm into a weapon.
Silt Strider.
It's just funny.
As a Silt Strider, just
Going into nitro
Like,
mode.
really fast. The one we saw that was vibing was just barely moving. We just see one in the background, just 90 miles an hour.
Just going from a dead stop to a full sprint.
So,
It's
he puts you
straight
down.
galloping. Sorry.
He just kind of looks at you all, lapping out. You see the tongue come out, and it's like this very purple, but it has pink speckles on it, which is a common thing for the Drow to have. And he looks the blood from the side of his face that has no skin, so he's pretty much looking all along his cheek and lips to get all the blood off.
And Marie is still mesmerized by the fact that her tail can bend.
And the ghoul, or no, ghast, I should say, that's been crawling out this entire time. He then goes back to it, puts his foot on the head, and just rips the arm off without effort, and just goes to town on the back of its head.
You
Pretty
know,
much-
it's how you cook your meat.
He just kind of looks up with you. There is this like big fat chunk of like undead meat in his mouth, and he just kind of shrugs.
Have you tried it cooked?
At this moment, let me roll. Abe gets the message. Hello? It's, Yafir here. I am almost on my way to Aranum. I have the scholar in question. Don't worry, oh, her name, and then the message cuts out. And you can respond to it.
Yafir, is that you? Well, what? Hold on a second.
You got 25 words, and I'm counting.
Sending is such a good spell.
In the right hands.
You say that. It's good, period. If you have to cast it multiple times, fine.
To work out to 4 words.
A lot of the time you can also simplify your speech just to get it in less words.
Oh yes, you go caveman.
Meat. I'm sorry, I can't. It's hard. It's so freaking hard to make coherent thoughts. God damn it.
Sustenance!
Says the dude eating the undead corpse as he just throws an arm outside. No. Freaking Half-Life Alex.
Murray's just gonna like say thank you to him like a lot.
Kind of just raises an eyebrow, kind of confused, and he's mowing on us.
I'm gonna try to cut off a piece of the meat and then cook it for him and then give it to him.
I can cook it.
Okay, so next message. It's to Muiri. Oh, hey, okay. 10 words later.
Okay.
That's
I have her. Her name is Lady Sedona. I can be there in a day. New locale? And you can respond to that message.
We are currently in a Drow settlement. I forgot the name.
Another message comes through to you. El Dalmora?
Excuse me, what?
That's what the town's name is. He just asked you what that was. That was the entire message.
Yes.
I have never seen a more blatant misuse of sending to send one-word messages.
Was someone like
I'm
roll,
going to do it.
I'm
to
sorry. I'm
spite you
sorry.
now.
was someone like roll percentile?
Let me just burn this spell slot so I can send a single word.
It's okay. He's a 20th level cleric. It's
I
fine.
know. It just is the funniest thing to me.
He's a 20th level light clerk. He's fine. He's fine.
He's
He'll
got so many
fireball.
spell slots he doesn't even care. Just it's one word. It's fine.
He just comes
One
back
nap
with
away.
cool.
Anyways, does anyone want to roll percentile?
What?
wait, percentile?
Yep.
Okay.
So a D100.
Okay,
Alright.
so lucky for y'all,
Doot.
Yafir is very familiar with this area, and the margin of error is pretty low. So you see a starbeam pretty much impact the town. His head snaps, and this person runs away into the wilderness.
Oh, bye.
There's something sticking out of the gas's corpse, so if you'd like to see. It's pretty much, it looks like a stick almost, but you can feel magic coming off of it.
I'm gonna grab it.
Okay, it's a pink wand. There's a note attached to it.
Okay.
Do you read it?
Sure.
It's pretty much all in Elvish. It's in the weird dialect, so you can only catch words here and there. It's pretty much saying birthday gift, sister, and it's signed Onelius.
Odd.
Let's see, who gets a message this time? Jonic. Hey, I'm in town. Where are you guys? Are y'all in a brothel or something? If you are, how dare you without me?
So, okay, out of character, I have completely forgotten where we are.
You're in the outskirts towards the forest that borders Delmora, or Tel Delmora.
The outskirts.
It's pretty much
Where?
a 40-minute walk.
Okay. I will respond with, we are at, and I don't know how to say where we are.
Tel Delmora.
Tell that thing that you just said. At the outskirts.
Okay, easy enough.
And then I say north, south, east, or west, depending on whatever direction we are.
You can message saying, just come over here, I'm lazy. That's the message.
Okay. that
Do you head over?
seems fine. Well, I got the message that we're supposed to go and find him.
But I don't want that.
Hold
mean-
on. And she's gonna try and pick up Helena, just carry her off.
Are you
I'm-
unwilling? Is she unwilling?
Are you unwilling?
Only if I
Only if I get to go on piggyback.
You had to play nice with the moth.
Oh no.
Sure.
Okay then.
It crawls and it's now hanging off your neck like a brooch.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like a beard.
Nope. So it takes you a bit to get to town as it's now getting a bit colder. This is pretty much would be the equivalent of afternoon now. And you see them sitting outside the inn. You see Yafir, his usual flamboyant self. And you see him with a very tall woman. She's wearing a very tall, long coat. Long coat. She wears heeled boots. A kind of almost bonnet. Her ears are very long even for a drow, and they down or curve downwards, and they're adorned with many, many, many earrings. Ah, there you guys are. Took you long enough.
Look what my tail can do. She's
Oh,
just gonna
you
wiggle it.
fixed it. Good for you, dearest. Good for you.
I didn't. Some crazy man in the woods did.
And this lady then turns. John,
Janek
you
is
get
like a.
this. You get that same bit of panic as you see the whole, or not the holy, the royal symbol of the Canehurst dangling from her neck as well.
He's already got like 1,000-yard stare.
He's just like, ah, shit, here we go again.
Hold on, let me see if I can find the GIF.
If you would like, you can roll history at advantage to recognize this person.
I'm 22.
This is Lady Sedona Canehurst, former Grand Archivist for the Royal Library. She is known to be the most quiet of the Canehursts and very rarely seen and interacted with. She was known for great feats such as recovering ancient lost artifacts from the Age of Mystics. You recall one of them being an orb of seeing, which allows you to cast scrying an unlimited amount of times, and the person does not have a chance to save against it. She's known to be the most mellow-mannered of the family, of the newest generation, I should say. She has no direct claim to the throne either. She is pretty much, I think, 14th in line at this point.
You okay? Can you still hear? Just enthusiastic waving.
Unlike the piercing red eyes that you saw staring back at you before, these ones are a soft, gentle violet.
Mm,
And she looks rather bored, and she's... Have you ever seen those weird little fur scarves that people put their hands in while they walk while it's cold? That's what she has her hands in.
mm.
Why do you look like an asshole?
Don't mind my child. She's just cranky, it's not her bedtime.
I am not a child. Thank you very fucking much, Mother Dearest.
Says the person on my shoulders.
I fucking didn't want to walk for the dog.
Helena, make a con save.
God.
Hold on, I found the freaking video that this is Janek now. when as soon as he saw the necklace.
Why are we still here?
Helena, you hear the woman speak a word, and this word makes you shudder at the very mention, and Helena just collapses over. She then approaches the body.
Does she just fall off of her shoulders?
Funny thought, she doesn't
Yes.
fall off completely.
She
She's
falls
just held
off,
on
and
by
she
the
falls head
ankles.
first, and she's stuck in a
I-
scorpion position, unmoving, unbreathing.
I will try to catch her as she falls.
No, she fell over already.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And she's not breathing.
Ooh.
And you see this very tall woman, like, bend down, grab her by the leg, lift her up. And she breathes out a very odd, misty haze into Helena's mouth from a distance. Helena, you regain consciousness once more. Your soul forced back into your body as you were literally just killed. And she just drops you, putting her hand back in the fur thing.
Can we go back
And
to
she
the
just
tree
says,
then?
I don't know, why did you look so dead? And she just walks back to you, Fear.
I liked your joke.
For context, she just casted Power Word Kill. She was sick of everyone's shit. She was forced out of her home. She is not particularly happy.
We're just like, I miss the crazy one now.
You just shot her to death. I'm kidding.
She just goes back to her other composure. So everyone here can already get an air of irritation out of this woman.
Hey, ma'am,
Yeah.
can you read this? And I just like hand her the note.
One hand reaches out of it and touches the blood-stained letter and looks at the wand. She opens the letter. And you see her expression go from this very, like, stern, irritated face to something that just softens. And she looks a bit sullen now. And she then puts the wand away.
Oh?
I need a moment. And she just kind of elegantly walks into the inn. Anyways, that could have gone better. You shouldn't just tell Blood Mage they look ugly.
Oh, she's a blood mage too?
Yeah. Just keep it hush-hush. Keep it hush-hush.
To be fair, she didn't call her ugly.
I told her she looked like an asshole.
Close enough, but anyways.
Some people like assholes.
I like assholes.
You see if you're of a sense of said. Anyways, keep it brief.
Can I?
Keep it brief. She is very angry because she got excommunicated from her home. She can't find her brother, or brothers, I should say, and she is very much on edge because her mother is potentially dead. I came to the Underdark at the wrong time.
Who's her brothers?
Well, you got the horny bastard sorcerer Sovalis.
Sounds
The
like a fun time.
necrophile you have the necrophile Adran, who went missing a while back. Onelix
Okay.
is just presumed dead.
Wait, what?
Yes, the brother Onelix was presumed dead in the blast.
Oh, he's not dead.
No, he's not.
We just saw him.
Oh?
Just point it.
Interesting. I would keep that hush-hush too, because... Yeah. Reasons. Where do you see him last?
You said keep it hush-hush. Why should we tell you?
He then just turns to Abe. Where do you see this very raggedy drow man prior?
What language did he speak?
Orcish.
Hey, I understood it.
Well, there was it, and I described to him where it was, and then I just start to add in extra stuff like he was very, very weird that he moved like every bone in his body was breaking and then reforming and then breaking again, and then his neck did a really sickening 180-degree turn, and then he turned into mist, and then he appeared next to Janek, and then he picked up Janek.
Yep, that sounds like him. Anyways,
He fixed my tail.
you see him clap, and the silt-like ground begins to grow grass, and it leads the same trail that you took to go to the tower. I have things to do. I'll be right back. Maybe, who knows, I could die. You never know.
Be
Always
nice to
accept
him.
fate. And you see him clap his hands again, then you see a very spectral-looking horse come, like, spawn in, and he's like, "Go forth, Felicity," and he then rides off. with very much haste.
I'm gonna walk in
What?
and told her. I'm going to walk in and apologize for what I called her.
For right now, I'm gonna call it a day right there.
Oh, okay.
Because I rolled 2 D100s and I got 2 100s to see if Lady Sedona would come to you. Anyway, so this companion/follower works in the following way. She will not go into combat. She's pretty much meant to go for quests, lore. She knows the identify spell, so if you need magical items identified, she is the one. she pretty much is just going to trail quietly behind you guys for the most part. She is here to aid you in your search and understanding to what's going on with the Hollow. As she is the most bookish woman in the entirety of the Euclidean Dominion. Forbidden section.
Neat.
Anyways, I really gotta go to bed, guys, because I have work in the morning.
Alright. See
Good
you
night,
guys later.
I'll probably let you guys know when the next session might be. It's probably gonna be not next week, but the week after.
Uh,
But anyways, good night, guys.
good night.
Good night.
I just wish that this GIF had the whole thing, because it gets so freaking funny
Where he gets
immediately after this. He gets squished, and then it lowers, and then a guard comes over and checks his body, and then it goes up and squishes the guard too.
squished. Oh god.
There's been a murder! And just crushes him again.
Technically speaking, could you just have an infinite loop of that? Because guards just keep walking in.
I think the reason that there was the guard there is that they're supposed to follow you in. I have no idea if the dude is supposed to die there like that. Because if that is the case, that is some freaking hilarious scripting. But the guard thing, I think that they're supposed to just be following behind you. I think. I don't really know for sure.
So I feel that session went pretty well.